Okay.
Hello, everyone. This is Silver Sirens chat, and I usually not able to come to these on Sundays because I have band practice, but we didn't have it today. But it's good to see everyone. Thanks, Silver Siren, for hosting these. This is really cool.
Sister, there's this thing that's only ours.
Hang on, sorry,
The
that's
hope
me.
is you take that with you when you go back.
And Retire Before 50's here too. Landy.
That was the commercial that's playing on the YouTube feed right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotta love the commercials. Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice day here where I'm at too. It's nice, very nice, very cool. So Silver Siren, I meant to ask you, since I haven't been able to come on as much lately, how have the Hangouts been? I've kind of watched a little bit, after they've been published, just here and there, little bits and pieces. But hopefully they've been pretty successful and.
Oh, there we go.
Light turnout lately. Hey, somebody else to join in. Not so news here. Very cool. And Silver Man is here, along with Retire Before 50.
How's it going, Sal?
All right, how are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. All right. Nice.
What are we talking about?
We just came on board before it went live. We were talking a little bit about the shooting in Orlando, just a horrible atrocity. And I may mention that some of the news outlets and even some of the press conferences, the police and the FBI are saying it's a horrible tragedy. But in my view, that's a tragedy is something, if there's a bus accident where people die or something, that's an accident, But this is a purposeful atrocity, and in my view, since ISIS has claimed responsibility for it, it's an act of war.
I have to agree.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Horribly sad day. The largest shooting in U.S. history, mass shooting.
Well, unfortunately, I think we're going to have a lot more of them.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking earlier, Silver Siren mentioned that, it's almost like we've come to expect, when's the next one going to come, waiting for the next one. And almost it's like it's every other. And Silver Siren's also saying, that even other Muslims aren't immune to this either, I mean, look at 9/11. Many Muslims died during 9/11.
Muslims are dying all over the place.
Yep. ISIS are killing Muslims. And ISIS are now eating their own. There was a story last week about ISIS members were killing people in the streets because they thought they were spies and they were members of ISIS.
Right.
Wow.
Just it's awful. But we need to stop them. I think now is the time to I mean, some people may not agree with this, but I almost think we need to send in ground troops and just get, wipe them out once and for all. Because really, they did an act of war and they claimed responsibility.
They have claimed responsibility
Yes.
for this one?
Right, yep.
Wow.
The shooter actually called 911 before the shooting and said that he pledged allegiance to Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. And then earlier today, ISIS themselves from Syria, Raqqa, claimed responsibility for the attack. This is essentially another Pearl Harbor.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, without getting too political, it's going to continue to happen in this country until we've got a government that believes in the Second Amendment.
That's right. Yep, I totally agree. Guns are not the problem, even though in Obama's press conference he made a statement basically blaming the guns and not calling out Islamic extremism again.
That's nothing new.
Right. Not so new, is it? Not so new.
That's not so new. I've been around a while. It's not so new.
Right. I like your avatar image too. That line is a really cool design.
I love it. I just wish I could get my hands on a 1/4 ounce.
Oh, really? The 1/4 ounces are kind of hard to find?
Way hard to find.
Oh, I thought it was just the silvers that were tough.
No, I got a bunch of silvers, but I don't have any. I've not got the ounce, but the 1/4 ounce is tough.
Right. Silver Siren saying that she finds it very interesting that the attacks occurring during Ramadan. That's right, yeah. And in an unrelated, I didn't realize this, that 2 days ago, or yeah, I guess it was 2 days ago, a voice singer, 22-year-old, and I don't know this girl, but she was apparently a contestant on the show The Voice, was shot and killed by a crazed fan 2 blocks away from where this event happened. Unrelated, though, but so you think about it, just the Orlando community, they were rocked by that 2 days ago, and then this.
Yeah, I read about that poor girl, 22 years old.
Yeah, at the beginning of her life, you know, and getting into a successful singing career, and then this happens by a crazed fan.
Wow. Yeah, I briefly remember seeing something about that one.
Yeah.
But
and sometimes people are just crazy. I mean, you look at like Sirhan. I was reading about, I was actually reading interviews about Sirhan. And when he shot RFK, you know, he was interviewed afterwards, and he didn't remember, supposedly he didn't remember being there or doing the shooting. And he's like, I don't know, you know, some people, and you know, they say that he was just nuts.
Yeah, I'm a conspiracy person, so I think there was more to it than that.
Yeah, some people say there was a second gunman at the there as well, and yeah, or you know, Hinckley, when he shot Reagan to try to impress Jodie Foster.
Yeah, now that was just nuts.
Right.
Christina Grimmie, yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's her name, Grimmie. Yeah, yeah. Hi, Ikeo. Good to see you, friend.
He's got his microphone turned off.
Okay, cool. Collector for Life has joined us. Hello, Collector for Life. I missed it.
What's up? Audio just went out.
yeah, I think, well, I know we had trouble with it in the beginning.
Gotta love Google.
Yeah. Yeah, it took me a few minutes to get my microphone up and going.
Yeah, yeah. I find what helps me, mine must have froze there for a bit, but
It did. Yeah, it did.
and so what I did is I click on the settings, the gear, clicks, and then it refreshes. At least that worked for me, but
I had to switch mine back and forth a few times.
yeah, insane in the membrane.
So what else are we going to talk about today? Let's talk about something fun.
Yeah, Silver Siren was talking about PMs. Let's
Yeah.
see. But I don't know exactly what the course of discussion was with that, but wanted to discuss PMs. RB50 and I were talking about in my little interview with her, and this may have been off air, but we're talking about how no one gets notice of PMs in YouTube.
Yeah.
There's times where I go to I'll see something like 3 or 4 days old, and I say, oh, somebody sent me a message, you know, and I didn't know it because now there's a notification if there's a reply to a PM, but not an actual initiated PM.
Yeah, and I've gotten to the point now where I just go in and check it a couple of times a day because you just never
Right.
see it.
Yeah, I kind of do too. I don't get very many PMs though, so I probably don't check it as often as I should. Superman coins.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually did order one of those from Penn Metals, which is kind of like that place because you can just kind of order a coin and it's free shipping. And it looks kind of cool, you know, but I mean, it's one of those things where it's probably going to milk spot. I'm going to expect that it will milk spot.
Yeah, Penn Metals is I've used them a couple of times now, and I kind of like them. But yeah, the milk spots. Yeah, do those really? I mean, okay, since I'm so new to coins instead of bullion, milk spots. How bad do they actually affect the value
They
of
will.
the coin?
If it's a premium bullion coin, it will remove all of its numismatic value. It'll just wipe it out. If it's a really desirable coin or whatever, it will certainly degrade it a lot, I'm sure. But I'm just reading back through on the side. Boy, I feel like a fool now. Silver Siren meant precious metals, not PMs. Anyways, I feel pretty bad now. Oops.
Don't feel bad. It's okay. Yeah, back if it's just a plain bullion coin, spots won't bother it because you're only expected to get spot out of it anyway.
Right. But in my view, I think the Royal Canadian Mint, they do a great job on their collector coins, but I think they could do a better job in removing the milk spot, you know, because that's during the annealing process, and I've heard different things that it's related to the detergent or whatever, the cleaning agent, and and not getting it all rinsed off, and apparently it shows up as milk spots later, but you know the U.S. Mint does a pretty good job at not having milk spots, although they do occur from time to time. But the Royal Mint and the Royal Canadian Mint, I think, are two of the worst. But then again, there's plenty more Canadian maple leafs out there. So I don't know. Like for instance, I don't see too many Philharmonics that have milk spots, but I know they have spotted too. Same thing with the elephants; they also spot.
Well, I remember seeing a video, gosh, it's been weeks ago though, where someone was talking about slabbed American silver eagles that occasionally will come up with milk spots.
They do.
Yeah, and yeah, slab coins are not immune. I don't think there's any really environmental way to get rid of them because I think it was either Losing Louie or somebody did a video where they vacuum sealed coins, and some of them still milk spotted.
Oh wow. Yeah, because I, of course, you know, like I said before, new to coins, and so the slab coins that I bought them thinking that was one thing that I wouldn't have to worry about.
Yeah. But you just don't see it as often with the eagles. But yeah, I guess you do see it. It's not that they're immune to it, but you don't see it as often with eagles. But
now,
yeah.
if I remember correctly too, I'd heard that if you return the coin, for example, if it's graded with NGC, if you return a milk spotted coin that's in a slab to them, like an MS70, which is what my American Silver Eagles are, if they milk spot and I return them to NGC, that they've got some type of process to remove those. Is that true? Do you know?
NGC has their conservation service, and I think they can minimize them, but I don't know if they can completely remove them or not. And if so, I don't know how they do it. I know that a lot of people have done videos. I've even tried videos. You can you can quote erase them or whatever, but it's going to scratch the coin, and you'll kind of damage the surface.
IKEA says you can do it, but you got to pay for it.
How
Yeah.
much how much is it? I'm just curious. Oh, he says it's not worth it. Okay.
Probably for high premium coins and yeah.
16 plus shipping. Wow. Okay. Huh.
Oh, did you guys hear about some great news, I guess, for some people? The U.S. Mint is deciding to do a 2016 enhanced uncirculated Native American dollar. So they're going to release details soon about the Native American dollar.
Yeah, they've actually been doing that for a couple of years. They'll do these coin and currency sets, and in 2014 they did the a reverse proof, and those were pretty hot. So yeah, it's a special set with the dollar bill, and is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like I liked how the way they designed it. It has World War I and World War II,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
yeah, like it looks really nice to be honest.
Yeah, that's an homage to the Code Talkers. Yeah, and actually, the U.S. Mint has put out a whole series of medals. I mean, literally more than a dozen of them, of the different talker tribes during World War One and World War Two, and it's pretty fascinating. Those codes during the wars, you know, a lot of those tribal languages were only known to a select few people. That are ancestors of those tribes, you know, and so there was no way for them to decode that because, you know, for the Japanese or for the Germans to decode those languages because they were native Indians here in the United States.
Yeah. I also read a story about the Sacagawea dollar. There's a Cheerios
Yep.
version. And have you ever seen a Cheerios dollar or?
The way to tell the difference between those two, the Cheerios version has an extra tail feather, I believe, and it also has a slightly different, shinier finish because those have been burnished, and they're worth some money if you have one of those. And it comes with, in the packaging, it comes with a cent too, a year 2000 cent, and the dollar. So yeah.
I have both of them.
Do you really? Wow, that's cool.
It's some serious money.
Yeah, I've got the cent, but I don't have the dollar. But that's cool. Not so new that you have one of those.
I actually went on a rampage a few years ago and picked up a bunch of the cents.
Okay, but you have the dollar too, right?
Yep.
Wow. Did you get it out of the box or did you buy it after?
No, I wasn't that lucky. No, I bought it.
Okay.
I bought it aftermarket.
Okay. Right.
It says that it's valuable whether it's a 60 or 70. The value is about 5,000 to 25,000, depending on the grade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty amazing if you think about it. What coins become numismatic and what others, you know, lose steam. Like you look at the Centennial dime, gold dime. You know, it was going for like $300, $400, and now they're way down now. You know.
Yeah. Good luck, not IKEA.
But there's also news reports about a treasure shipwreck found off Namibia.
Namibia, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it makes me wanna. Yeah.
Yeah, the Spanish government let them keep it.
Wow.
That's nice. That's quite nice of them to do that.
Yeah, they had first claim on it because it was a Spanish ship of the line.
Mm-hmm.
But they let Namibia keep it.
Silver Sign was talking about Panda King's full gold panda stack, and it's really, if you haven't seen that video, check that out. That's really fascinating. lots of different pandas in there, different years and sets.
Yeah, I'm not subbed to him. I'm going to have to sub to him.
Yeah, he's got some neat videos.
That's why they call him the Panda King.
So did you guys hear anything else within the news? Spot prices, spot price for gold, silver.
Nothing new that I heard. I mean, it seems like the price is steadily going up, which is kind of what I thought it would. You know, when the stock market struggles, it kind of creeps up. And IKEA is saying FOMC meeting is this Wednesday.
Mhm.
So things like that, and the geopolitical aspects will certainly, I think, play a part as to where gold and silver prices will go. But we shall see. I think the days of skirting around $1,000 gold and $14 silver are over for now. I think we're going to see it steadily climb up to the end of the year.
Well, I haven't bought any gold yet. So hopefully I can within like the next few months.
I hope so too. Yeah, I think you'll love it owning a little bit of gold, even if you just get 1/10 of an ounce or something. You know.
Mhm. Like I know some websites are selling it for like a gram is about $50
Right.
for some websites. So that's not too bad.
It's something that's digestible, but honestly, the grams are for as much gold as you get. That's kind of a high premium. But if you can find a deal, even though it's a little bit more money, as far as out of your pocket, believe it or not, there's places where you can get 1/10 ounce gold for not much over spot. And if you can find that deal, you get a lot more gold for your buck, so to speak. Even though $150 or $140 is quite a big chunk of change to throw out, and it's still kind of a small coin, but you get more gold because that 1/10 of an ounce is 3.1 grams.
Mhm. Um, have you ever been to a estate sale?
I've never have, but I know some people in the community have talked about going to those and finding good deals there too.
Because I was looking online at different ones, and some people are selling like coins, gold. I was like, what if I have a chance to go there and buy something that's not as expensive in the regular marketplace? So that's what I like to do is hopefully I can start going to yard sales and finding items that are cheap but hold a lot of value.
Right. Yeah, and that's just it. I mean, see the thing is taking part in those and flea market sales and yard sales. Um, some people like Silver Hair Stacker talked about that. If you have the time to do it, you can find a treasure sometimes in there, but sometimes you'll come up empty-handed. It's just a matter of taking the time to do it and really knowing what you're looking for and knowing how to especially identify sterling silverware. Some of those things I don't know if they're silver or not, or gold jewelry and the like, and things, and being able to recognize it and finding it, and so yeah, it's an adventure for sure, and I'm sure the best way is just kind of get your feet wet and try it out, and you may enjoy it. You may enjoy it for more than just trying to find the deals. You may just enjoy going out and seeing some of those things and checking out and seeing what's there.
Oh yeah, because they're there. Those deals are definitely there. I can tell you that.
Yep.
I went to an auction because I usually go to auctions because I do flea markets, and the auction house that I go to on a regular basis had a coin slash, they had silver bars, I mean, all kinds of stuff. But when I went into that part of the auction, it wasn't worth the time. I mean, the stuff was selling for more at the auction than it would sell for on eBay. So that's with that. But with yard sales and things like that, sometimes people don't know what they've got.
Mhm.
So if you know what insignias to look for and things like that, you can get some pretty good deals. So, but yeah, a heavily advertised auction, eh. So
Yeah,
that's
like
my experience with them.
I've been to usually farmers markets. They have like flea markets, and where I live, I've gone a couple times, and I've seen people at their tables, and they don't actually know what they have. And I'm
Hmm.
like, can I get this? They're like, yeah, it's like $1. I'm like, well, this is worth a little bit more than $1, but
Yeah.
I pick it up, and like, not to say like I'm cheap, but I don't like spending more than $5 on one item at a flea market because of like people, they don't know, like they usually don't sell items that are really high price, especially if you go to like a large flea market. I remember when I went to this dealer, he had currency from all different types of countries, and he had dollars, he had German cents with the swastika on it. And I bought some stuff from him, and I only paid about $5 for about 15 items.
Oh wow.
So I was quite proud of myself. So like I like going back to him because he's a great dealer, even though he has some German memorabilia that may not be from the greatest past, but at least he sells it for a great price. Especially with my local auction house, they do they sell coins, stamps, etc. And I go in, I see some stuff there, and I'm quite short, so they help me with like getting stuff because like do some people, do you guys have like bid boards where your auction is, or they have bid board sessions?
No.
Uh, well, I need sometimes help getting the stuff off the board, if because I'm very short. So they help me out, and they say, hey, like, what are you looking for? And they keep an eye out. Like same thing with my antique shop. They keep an eye out for me because I like buying lots of old paper. I think old paper is amazing because they hold a lot of value. So I buy some stuff in my antique shop, but they do look out for some things.
But ladies and gentlemen, I hate to sign out here, but I actually have to go. Um, but thank you all very much, and thank you again, Silver Siren, for hosting these. And it's good to see everybody in here. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Sunday.
Thank you. You
Thank you.
too.
Take it easy, Sal.
Take care and enjoy. Multitude of gratitude. Laters. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. So, Retire Before 50. What do you think about Coin Couch's giveaway? I hear that you're playing against somebody today.
I think it's awesome. I really do. I didn't even know that soccer tournament was going on, and but I don't watch that much television, so
Mhm.
I'm a big soccer fan. So, yeah, I think it's cool the way that she's doing that. I thought that was really neat.
Like I usually watch the World Cup. Last year I watched the Women's World Cup, and I loved it. It was quite nice, to be honest, especially seeing them play. And when they don't get paid as much as the other male players, but they want it, but they still don't get paid as much. But to put on a good game for your country, I think that's really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I saw bits and pieces of that. So there were some good games in that.
So I have a quick questionnaire. Have you guys ever found a 1943 silver penny?
No.
I wouldn't mind finding one, to be honest, but they're very rare. But some people, like I know, they may find it in pocket change. I read a story about it of them finding it in pocket change. I think it was a teenager.
I can't remember. One of the younger stackers has one and was showing it in a video, and I can't not remember which one it was. I really wish now that I could, but
Oh yeah, it was the website I'm looking on coinsabout.com, and it says a teenager finds a rare coin from 1943 S Lincoln penny, and he finds it in his pocket change. That he's pretty lucky, to be honest, if he finds that in his pocket change.
oh yeah, you can find some pretty cool stuff in pocket change.
Yeah. So, do you guys want to talk about anything else?
Let's see. Hang on.
Talking about the war pennies. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, hello, RB50. Hello, Collector for Life. And Not So New still
Hello.
here? Yes, he's showing his steel set.
Ooh,
Nice.
that's nice. I have like some of them. Like I have a folder for my pennies, but I don't have all of them yet.
Which ones do you need?
Um, I still need to complete majority, like some of my 40s and my early 1910s. But I bought two folders full of majority of the books were filled, but I bought two of them for about $8 from this coin shop. It was a like a mom and pop business, and they were closing shop, so they had a big sale, and I bought this for about about $4 for one of them, and the other one was $4 also.
It's definitely pretty cheap. I'm selling a penny book right now, and it's not $8.
Yeah, I was surprised myself. Like not all the slots are filled, but majority of them are filled. I think I've shown them on YouTube, I believe so. But they're nice coin books. They're great. They're in great condition. And I was surprised that they sold that to me, and I made sure they were actually real. You know, I have my magnet now, making sure that it was actually real in the first place. And I researched them, and I was like, why would somebody sell this to me for that amount of price? And I guess I was just lucky because they were closing. Um,
Yeah, kids always get better deals than adults.
I know, isn't it amazing?
No, not
Around,
anymore. Not when you're old. And that
I
that
still have
transition
time.
sucks when you finally start having to pay retail once you do face to face. Hence my transition to online.
Yeah. Well, I thank God that I still have time to enjoy my youth before I have to go out into the adult world and pay for retail. But at the
Which
moment,
leads
not
me
right now.
into one of those things where Silver Siren was saying we all got our discounts chopped off when Target cut us off.
Well, like for some places, if you're over 55, you still get a good amount of money.
I am not
You get
looking forward
discounts.
to for that discount. I'm sorry.
Like for some grocery stores, they give you the 5% discount,
That's
you
a senior
know.
citizen discount.
Mhm.
No, no, no.
This,
I much prefer the youth discount.
I don't know if that's refundable.
That's okay.
It's fine.
But yeah,
I'll
I
get you in
was
for free.
mentioning earlier, I actually have 3 rolls of those stupid pennies. Some of them are like there's this weird corrosion on them though, so I think they need to be replated.
Mhm. Yeah, you could get them checked out though.
No, they're real. I'm pretty sure they're real. They're
No, like I mean, like if they could, like, do you want it to be conserved, like for them to like
oh no,
get
they're
all the
not worth
corrosion
it.
off, or
From what I saw, they're only like $1 each.
okay.
I was just trying to say they're actually pretty common, but you don't
Mhm.
find them in circulation a lot because people who see them pick them up because they've never seen them before.
Mhm.
So usually the retailer that would normally give them out is someone's already taking it.
Oh.
Yeah,
know.
I buy $50 bags worth of pennies, and that's where those came from.
Did you just have those 3?
Oh no, there was a bunch of them. I bought all the penny books for my 4 grandchildren, trying to get them interested.
Uh-huh.
And they go through they go through all the bag of pennies, the $50 bag of pennies, and they sorted them out and found them and put them in their penny books.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's just something to do on winter days, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, like
Yeah,
I'm
how do
trying
they
to.
like it?
Yeah.
Say again.
How do they like the sorting?
The older one does, and the younger 3, But it's something for them to do, so it keeps them from beating each other up.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, collector for life. I noticed you mentioned about estate sales. I tried that for
Yeah.
about a month. It took so much time. It was ridiculous. And the
Yeah.
net that I got out of it wasn't very much. So I decided to not do that again.
Mm.
Because those estate sales are everywhere. And like Lainey was mentioning, there are certain regulars that go to these
Mhm.
things
Yeah.
and follow them. They follow the houses or the sales themselves because
Yeah.
there's a website, and they're all the same people who know each other by first name. So usually they get first dibs on it too.
Well, as I've joined the community a couple years ago, but as a new person going to auctions, I was like, okay, you guys may be older than me, but I'm young. I'm also very short, so I can just climb underneath, put my bid in. I can run around fast. I can dodge all you guys see. I'm the competition because I'm young. So, because there are a lot of, like, no offense, but like older people, like in their 80s and 70s there at the auction place. I'm like, look, I can, like, by my height, I can duck under people and write in my bid if I need to for a certain item. So that was my plus, to be honest. That
Not
that's
quite what I meant, but yeah, it just takes a lot of time,
mm,
and
Yeah.
half the time it costs a lot of. The ones that they know are valuable because now they look at eBay too to price it, and so it's not
mm,
as good a deal when you go to houses where it's if you go to an estate sale or a garage sale or like one of those parking lot ones, you're much better probably going to find better buys at like flea markets or garage sales.
Yeah, and it's better to go to those things with a list of stuff that you're looking for, not just, coins or, something along that line. And if you're, for me, for selling on eBay and doing my flea markets and stuff like that, I've got a list a mile long. So, for me, it's worth it. But for somebody who's just going around looking for, like sterling silver or coins, gold and things like that, it might be extremely time consuming for just a little bit of a return on it.
Yeah, it's tiny. Yeah, I don't have a laundry list. I already have too much stuff I'm trying to get rid of.
like at the moment, I'm not able to sell on eBay because you have to be a certain age in order to sell on eBay. So I'm not at that age yet. So I'm kind of stuck with all my items that I've bought over the years, and they're valuable, and I'm trying to wait till I reach that age so I can sell it. So
Well,
yeah.
eBay has a new development through PayPal that I don't know if it took effect on June 1st or what the deal was, but PayPal is reporting, which I report anyway. The reason I don't like this is because I think it puts too many hands into the pot, and it's just more of a chance for a screw up. But if you do more than 200 sales transactions or more than $20,000 a year through PayPal now, PayPal reports it to the IRS. And you have
That's actually true last year too.
Was it last year?
But it's not. It's always been. But the thing is, it's and. So you have to have 200 transactions and 20,000, not or.
Well, I'll have to read this stuff again because I read it as that
it's very important that you know that one. That one was important for me because otherwise I would have gotten a 1099K.
Yeah, because I report, all of the stuff that I sell online anyway, just to keep it clean. I didn't realize that they were already doing that. I mean, obviously I'm doing it right because I haven't gotten a letter yet. So.
Well, I didn't get a letter either. So, but I did hit one of those requirements. So it's I'm pretty sure it's and.
Okay, I'll double check. Yeah.
Like, why is it bad if the IRS can detect it?
It's not that they detect it. It's PayPal. What they'll do is they'll report they have all your transactions. They'll send it into IRS, and you have to pay taxes on it.
Yes.
As income.
Yep.
Well, that's rude. Let people live and get their own money.
Yeah,
The government doesn't need to know about that.
Apparently Siren already hit the black wall, so she's telling you a little bit on the side.
Yeah. She got the 1099K, and it's insufficient, so keep good records, purchase records.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. The thing that bothered me the most about it is because, like I said, the more hands that are involved in it, you know how well people do their jobs nowadays, and the more hands that are involved in it, the more chance there is for a screw up. And I've had one year where I did have an issue with the IRS, and it's like talking to a brick wall and dealing with Satan. And so. And then, of course, after that, then the state tax department gets involved, and I mean, it was just, and it wasn't even my screw up. So yeah, I mean.
So, if the IRS, once they have your information, could somebody potentially abuse that?
Well, it's not well, they can, but that's not the problem. They would try to take your check, but if you had to pay, they'd probably leave you alone, right? It's just they want a piece of the action. That's the only problem.
Yeah.
That's why they set that limit the way it is, so that if it's significant, otherwise, if it's less than that, it's usually a hobby, and you're just getting rid of stuff.
So they just want money, extra money.
It's not extra money. I mean, if you're selling stuff, technically you're supposed to report it.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's over a certain amount. It's technically like a part-time job.
That's right. And by the way, I wanted to mention Robert Morris on the outside is saying he went to the rich side of town. Their garage sales have all kinds of nice stuff at bargain basement prices, which I agree with. I've seen that where you go to the rich folks when they have garage sales. It's like you can find really nice stuff for really cheap.
Oh yeah.
Because they just don't care.
Yeah, they just want to get rid of it.
That's what I do for Halloween, to be honest. I go to the rich neighborhoods. They buy the big size bars, and they're like, "Here you go." I'm like, "Thank you. Take $1." I'm like, "Okay." And then you go to somebody else's house. They're like, "Here's $10." I'm like, "Thank you. You're so sweet. Why are you just giving money away?" But that's for some neighborhoods.
Yeah. So if you sell your stuff, I think you're okay because you're still tax exempt. But once you get to where we're at, you got to pay them taxes, or they come after you.
Yeah.
So I could go over the mark for 20,000 and 200 plus items without being taxed.
That's not true. Then you would be taxed.
Then I would be taxed.
Yeah. If you're 16, you would be taxed.
Okay, so I can just before I turn, that 16, can I continue doing it though without being taxed?
Well, most likely you wouldn't be able to accept PayPal because they have an age restriction.
Yeah.
They're blocking me for getting money right now. This is not fair. I need
Yeah,
to put all this towards my college tuition.
just want to welcome, I think PD Ballerina is in the house. Hello.
Hello. So, like, how did you guys pay for college? If we're talking about money,
I got a scholarship.
did it
Loans.
cover like, oh, loans? Okay. Did like the scholarship cover it, or
Most of it, and then I had to work. So I was a working student.
Got your education the old-fashioned way.
Yeah. Scholarship covered about half. The other half I had to work. And
24K says Daddy paid.
Nice.
Nice.
That's a good way to do it.
like not so new. With your kids, did you pay for their college, or did they pay for it themselves?
They paid up front, and I paid up on the backside.
Well, that's nice of you.
Well, I found out early that if you pay first, there's no incentive for them to do what they need to do. So you put it out on your dime, and I'll help you on the backside.
I'm just trying to get a scholarship, to be honest. Just trying to get a scholarship for Harvard, because that's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, I'm on the
Scholarship.
path. Like, I'm on the path right now, the academic path, the community path, being doing service hours and such. I'm on the path right now, but all I need is to be able to pay for it if I want to, like, especially if I'm doing like an application. It's gonna be very hard.
Yeah. Harvard's expensive.
But they have great programs there.
My nephew's wanting to go to Princeton, so
That's a good school. My brother-in-law went there.
yeah, he's I can't remember exactly. He wants to do something. It's with science. I can't remember exactly what it was. He's told me about it a few different times, but yeah, he's picked Princeton. I think he's a freshman, going to be a freshman this coming school year. So I told my brother, I said, you better start saving your pennies.
That
So,
or he better start working.
Yeah, true.
I have to go right now because I have to do some errands today, and then start gardening tonight. So thank you guys for talking and welcoming me within your group. Okay,
Later, young lady.
bye bye.
Okay.
What's next, folks?
All right. Any recent buys? Did anyone get on the Superman train? I think Siren talked about that one earlier. No one on Superman? Royal Canadian Mints?
I'm kind of done with the RCM.
Anyone pick up the newly issued 2015, was it Australian Kangaroos?
No.
Did you hear about those?
No.
So the 2016 Kangaroos were unlimited mintage, but after the 26 came out, it turns out there was a 2015 that was limited mintage of 300,000.
Those bastards.
Yeah, and apparently BPM, Bay Precious Metals, bought all of them and they commissioned it. Yeah, and they recently sold them, so that's what people thought was the first year was really the second year, and then now they're offering the first year. But there's proof that was actually produced last year.
Huh.
So now it's for sale on eBay. I got a roll on the way once spot dipped a little bit.
Hey, Grandma, how are you?
Is that so? Gamma's, oh yeah, Star Trek. I see Star Trek coin.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Just fine, ma'am. Thank you.
Hi, Gamma.
Hello. Finally got in. Silver Sirens, finally we got in. Thank you, Silver Siren.
Yeah,
Been working on it for 20 minutes.
Yeah, it can be tricky at times.
Wow, I never had this problem before. I don't know. I finally was able to make a hangout. Thank God. Usually on Sundays, I'm out mowing my lawn. So, how is everybody today?
Good, good.
Wonderful.
Fantastic.
Alrighty.
So how's the pouring
So there-
bench coming along, Grandma?
The pouring bench is coming along fine. I finally got everything in to solder up my hamburgers, and every time I thought I had everything, I was missing something, so I had to order it, and then it would take forever to come in. Then I had to find something else, and it would take forever to come in. Now I have everything in, and I can't find my mason jars. So I'm going to be looking for the... It's one thing after another. So I'm looking for them tonight, and my son, of course, is not here because he's the one that packed them away. And so I'm going to go look for them tonight so that way I get the hamburgers done this week. I do want to give an update. I'm not having my procedures done as I thought. I got a call Friday, and I'm not going to be able to have my procedures done because of the heart, but hopefully next month, if not August. So, and they weren't major procedures. It's just that I'm having one of my procedures is going to be done on my eyes, another one's going to be done on my jaw, and the one on my eye I won't be able to see. So that's what was going on with that. But they're not going to put me under because I have to be under, and they're not going to put me under because of the ticker. So not right yet. Not right yet. But pouring, everything else is coming along fine. I finally got the boxes in for my pizza molds for the pizzas. I finally got them in. So we're getting ready to rock and roll.
I'm
So,
still on
yay.
I'm still on the list for a burger, right?
Yes, you are. Yes,
Good,
you
good.
are. Of course, when people order from me, I make them as you want to call it fresh. So like if I have a video, that's why I don't show like 50 mini dragons or 50 skulls, or I don't have any of the dragon skulls left, but like 50 wizards or nothing, because usually if somebody orders, I go down and I start pouring. So, I do have enough silver. If you want a hamburger, I'll just do her up and get her together, then send it on out, and that's how that works with me. So I'm not rich enough to have a stock of like 500 ounces of this and 500 ounces of that already done up. I'm not David Jager. So, although it would be nice to be him. But yeah, you're still on the list. Everybody who wants one is still on the list, so you'll be getting them. And Lanny, I was going to write her anyway. We're in cahoots with the hamburger.
Yes. I was just typing a message in for you about that.
Oh, great, because I can't really read it. This my blind butt, like I can read. I can't read this off to the side. I apologize, because it really is true. Really is true. I really am half blind doing all this stuff.
Wow.
Hubby's in the next. No, hubby's in the next room. He can, he can say, yeah, it's true. So, but the good thing is, I've always been good with my hands, always, and a lot of stuff is by instinct. That's why I always have my magnifying glasses around, because I like to see what I'm doing and see how it comes out, things like that. But yeah, and of course, Silver Summit, he is coaching me through the soldering process. We've been in contact and talking, and all my questions he's answering, and he's ushering me through it, and then I'll be calling him when I actually do it. And so it's when I finally get the hamburger done, it's like I think I've told Lanny. I'm not sure. I know I've told Silver Summit. This is going to be an actual YouTube collaboration because of all the support that I have gotten from the YouTube community, encouraging me, say, keep going with it. I want to see it. Keep going. Don't stop. And I never give up on anything that I do. But the fact that Silver Summit piped in, he's like, look, I'll help you with the soldering. And then you got Lanny, hey, I'm going to help you with some packaging. And and then you have the YouTubers like y'all sitting there saying, it's neat. Keep going. I want to see it. Because my thing was I really did want to shock the community because you don't see things like that. And
that's a great piece. I mean, that hamburger is.
Hey,
yeah,
Grandma.
Lanny's. Yeah.
Yeah, how many grandkids do you have?
Total. Good God, I see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I had to count. There's 8.
Everybody says nice.
Yeah. The youngest grandkid is 2 months old. His name's Isaac, and he's so tiny. Then there's a 1-year-old. You got the 1-year-old. That's Isaiah, and of course everybody knows my little helper, who's now just turned 6 yesterday. My Nina. She's the one who is Gamel's little girl. Anything Gamel does, she's got to be right there. She's the one that is in my videos. And as most everybody knows, I think Silver Siren knows, she just got her hearing aids last year. So she just started to really speak last year. So there's a lot of words. There's a lot of words that she can't really say yet. Smart as a whip. Smart as a whip. But she repeats things as like she heard it. So now she's hearing things new, so she thinks it's different words where it's actually the same words. It's really weird, and it's really cute, and I love it. But I actually did a video on why I do what I do, and in it, at the end of the video, is little mama actually hearing for the first time with her hearing aids. And Siren saw it, and I know for a fact she did because she commented on it. So then the other ones are older. They're older. They're like 12 and up, 12 to 21. They're older. So, but yeah, it can be hectic, so to speak.
Yeah, I've got 9 of them.
Oh wow.
Oh, so you know.
Yeah, I do.
So
Unfortunately, only 4 of them live close. 5 of them live in Louisiana. So.
Well, I have found I like them more than the kids.
You're right.
I'm like, and most people know my son lives with me, although he is now working. He's gone 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and this round he's gone for 2 weeks straight, and it's been heaven. I love him. I love him. He looks after me. He looks after hubby. I love him. Stay gone, dude. Stay gone. Be your own. Fly. Do something. Because it's easier to put little mama down for a nap than it is him. So with the 9 grandkids, yeah, you tend to like them more than your own.
It's not a matter of like or anything. I think it's just we're more tolerant the older we get, and it's easier. And
it is.
I tell everybody, if you don't have grandkids, you don't really know what love is.
Mm-hmm. I recommend it to everyone. I truly do. And I always enjoyed my boys. And my mom, even when they were really young, especially the oldest when he was about 4, took him over to Mom and Dad's. We're down in their den playing, and Ian was just playing with my dad, wrestling on the floor, and my dad's just sitting there letting him, and Ian thinks it's fun, and Mom's like, he really does crack you up, doesn't he? And I was like, I love it. I watch every minute of them until they hit 15. And then it was like, I wish I could trade you in. You're not so fun anymore. It just cracks me up. And then they go through this stage, as anybody who has kids knows, and anybody who has kids knows that between the ages of 15 and 21, you think of murder all the time. And that's all there is to it. Let me see how I can skin him without actually going to jail.
Well, they think they know everything.
Exactly.
And you're a big dummy.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you really think about it, because by the time there's 5 years between Ian and Cameron, and by the time Cameron got to 15, Ian's already 20, and Ian's starting to grow out of that stage, so he's starting to give advice to Cameron. It's like, dude, let it go in one ear and out the other. Don't talk so much. Don't just stand there and take it and go on. You know how she is. And then I'm sitting there thinking, I was like this with my mom and dad.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Damn it! That curse is true. I hope your kids are just like you.
Yep.
It's true.
The other one is you're going to turn into your mother or father, respectively. Yeah. And that's already happened.
It's, oh my gosh. So the cycle of life is, when you've gotten older, you realize the cycle of life is still the same. The times may have changed a little bit as far as when I was young, excuse me, I wouldn't dare say, think, hear, feel, or smell, and do half the crap these kids are doing today. But in my day, I have to admit, I was a little crazy. I was a little wild. I was mom and dad's wild child. I admit that. But in my day, I was considered that. And then now I'm looking at the kids today, and I'm sitting there thinking the same thing my parents thought. And so as I got older and you have your kids, you raise them, you go through crap, and then you got the grandkids coming around, and you're thinking, it's the same crap. It's the same crap, just on a different level. It's the same crap. And so you just have to learn to roll with it.
Seattle's in the house.
Who's in the house?
Seattle came in.
Oh, hey, Seattle, how are you?
Alrighty, I'm doing well. How's everybody doing today?
Oh, great. I'm doing great.
Good. Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. How's it going there? Retired by 50, before 50.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Hey, Siren. So, how's the APD, SCPDs there also? So, how's things? What's the topic of the matter today?
What's up, Seattle?
Hey, what's up, IQ?
Right now, it's grandkids. My son just got married last year, so now I'm insanely jealous, and I'm probably going to call him and tell him to get going when this is over with. I can't. From what you're describing, I mean, this is going to be neat. I can't wait.
Grandkids are a treasure. I crack up all the time. I don't know.
But do you see how life changes? For all those years, you worried that he was going to get going?
Me?
That's a good question.
And now you're gonna call him and tell him to get going.
That's right. That's right. Get going. I mean, I think she's told me a couple of times that they're going to be starting to try here pretty soon. So they got a house right before they got married. My son actually did the tax sale foreclosure on his house. So they have no house payment. Their house is paid off.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and they do have one car payment, but I mean they're not having to wait for that quote unquote until we can afford it kind of deal. So they're gonna. I know she's. Well, they were both extremely happy about that. They got a lot of remodeling to do, but yeah, I think they started it off pretty good. So they don't have to wait. I mean, they can do it now.
Yeah. Now the youngin's back in the room, so
Oh, there she is. Yeah, I see her.
Yep.
Hello. It seems as though I was not needed today.
PG-13.
Pretty much. Wasn't that needed, so
Oh, stop.
I was like, okay, cool. Nice seeing you again. Bye-bye. Just let my mom and her friend talk, Adults. That's usually how it is within my household, is that when adults start talking, the young kids, the youngsters should leave the room because
Exactly.
it's just
Yeah.
not appropriate.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave you guys to talk.
You're not going to get any argument from me.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Like I've just gotten to an age now where I can actually sit at the big kids table, where I can actually sometimes sit amongst the adults, but there's also some moments where like, you need to go somewhere else. I'm like, okay, that's harsh, but I'll go. I don't want to be in your conversation anyway, because all you guys talk about is work. I don't like work. I like, I don't like work that much.
Just wait till you get there. You got to be careful when you say that now, because work is the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Until I'm like, well, actually, aren't they raising the Social Security age to like 67 or something?
Oh, they already did that.
Oh, they already did that? Oh, looks like I
Yeah.
got a good amount of time until I retire. Leave
Not
the
if-
rest
I'm gonna
of
get. I want to give you a little secret. When it's time to retire, and you do retire, you freaking go back to work because you're bored. That's all there is to it.
Don't majority of people move to Florida though? When they retire, they move to Florida.
Or you pour silver.
Yeah,
True.
poor silver.
That's very true. That's very true.
I was forced into retirement because of disability, but I tell you what, I have found, like with my dad, the man's retired daggone twice. He retired before 50. My dad retired at 52, the first time. He
Nice.
got bored. Went back to work, doing this. My dad was an over-the-road truck driver. Drove it for 30-some years, retired. He went back to work for the post office, driving the semi. I'm like, you went back to work doing the same damn thing you retired from. But he did that, and because he's a Vietnam vet, and they vested him so many years, so he only had to work like 6 years, and then now he gets second retirement, and so then he got bored again, and I'm like, so he was thinking about going back to work at like Lowe's or something, just, and here, my mom's like, get out of the house, Al, get out of the house, get out of the house, Al. I was like, so now my parents are fairly young, and my dad, he's oh God, he just had a birthday. He's 69. No, my dad is 70, and my mom is 67, and neither one of them know what the hell to do with themselves. I'm like, go back to work, do something, because my mom and dad will travel 50 miles just to go to the grocery store to pick up one thing,
Oh wow.
and just because they're bored. And I'm like, and they're healthy as it can be. I've never seen anything like it. They don't look their age. They don't act their age. They're healthy as can be. People don't believe it. And I'm like, well, Dad, have you ever thought about going back to work? He said, well, I was thinking about going back here to Lowe's. He says, I'm pretty knowledgeable in plumbing and electrical work, which he is. He said, I was thinking about doing that. Mom's like, go ahead, Al, go ahead. He can't even get the sentence out. Mom's like, go, Al, go. I was like, jeezy cow. When you get to that age to retire, you get bored, you go back. That's all there is to it.
Like, for me, retirement would be, like, I wouldn't mind having a homestead, like, off the grid, so I can leave that to my family. So it'll be self-sufficient, and when they need to get away from, I guess, the crazy world that we live in, they can come to one place, which is home, where that they don't have to worry about the polluted air. And it also teaches my kids how to survive on their own, pretty much, and how to be self-sufficient and independent themselves. So they don't have to depend on me. So that I think that will teach my kids great responsibility.
Yeah, the only problem with that is that once you get to retirement age, things start to hurt even before you get there. I mean, I'm 44, and things hurt now that I didn't even know I had years ago.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, yeah. So I would love if I could do it, which I can't. I mean, if I were in my 20s, this would be where I'd be. Once this house was paid off, I would sell it and do similar to what you're talking about, collector for life. But with once you get older, sometimes it's just not in the cards anymore. But I mean, I think that's a great idea. You know, off the grid living is it's interesting. There's a couple of YouTube channels that I follow and I watch that are off the grid. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I like one channel, Starry Hilder, her channel. I like how her and her husband are very self-sufficient. Even though they may be like older and such, but they're still able to take care of themselves. They're very youthful in like spirit. They like hiking, they get out there and they take care of what they need to take care of. So I think that's amazing. So, but
It's-
they
But it's
say that
not for
they
everybody.
yeah, true.
But it's a
I've
great
never like
idea.
yeah. Like I've never been fishing. I've never been hunting. I've never left the country.
Have you ever
Um
been
I love the
camping?
country.
I've never been camping my whole entire life.
Have you ever lived without hot water?
yeah,
Hot
that's a good
water.
one.
That's interesting. I've done
Have
it.
you ever done that?
I have. I've actually lived with hot water when my family we bought our house, and we it's a very old home. It's like very very old. So heating and stuff wasn't really up there, especially when it hits winter time and the heater's not working anymore, so you have to take cold showers for like a month. So I
Yep.
had to do that. I had to run in and run out. I'm like, okay. We're good. We're good. All great. It
Yeah,
definitely
'cause,
woke me up though. It woke me up.
yeah, and like that's the thing. Off the grid living sounds fun until you actually live off the grid. It's fun for the first week, and then once you're like month one, it's not
Mhm.
as fun as it used to be.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I've
'cause
known some very tough people that have gone to live off the grid and thrown in the towel. So
yeah, things as simple as washing your clothes, become extremely difficult.
Yeah, that's not easy to do.
Yeah.
That is not easy because people think, oh, you get a washboard. Sometimes you don't have a washboard, and even if you did, people don't realize how bad you tear your fingers up.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. Been there, done that.
Yeah,
It's
low grid
not
living
easy.
is okay. Low grid living, better than off the grid. And if they're on YouTube, most likely they're still on the grid.
Mhm.
Most likely, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
good point, yeah. Good point.
Mhm.
Well, at least in old age, you'll still be busy though, trying to be self-sufficient. At least you won't get bored because you're going to deal with the conditions and dealing with animals and such.
Chopping wood. Yeah. Sounds like
That's
fun.
not easy.
It depends if you think survival is fun.
Yeah,
At
I'm not
least
a
you won't.
survivalist. I'm a low grid. I'd like to live low grid, but not a survivalist. No,
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of. No, 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 no,
Like,
no.
I've
Now,
seen
if I,
shows like Doomsday Preppers, and I'm like, that's a lot of money though.
well, they're extremists or whatever. It just like it just depends on you. I know my grandma before she passed away, I wanted to know how to can vegetables, and she said you can can more than vegetables. You can do meat, all kinds of meat, and all this. And I was like, really?
Oh
So,
yeah.
so she was showing me all that stuff, and she was supposed to. She passed suddenly, so she was supposed to give me all her canning things, and my uncle got rid of all that, but and which about made me cry. I was like, first of all, with my grandma's, you don't throw grandma's stuff away. Secondly, I was supposed to have that, but thank God my mom knows how to do it all, and you can prep that way. That's if you have a garden, which Retired Before 50 does.
Yep.
If you have a garden, which I plan on planting mine next year, because we're getting ready to tear up the yard, so pulling out trees and things, and replanting trees. We're planning on planting fruit trees, which hubby wants to do, and then I want my vegetable garden, and I want to can that stuff, and that's low grade right there, and that'll save you a lot of money, and it's cheap to do.
It
So
does.
it's
Yeah, I
not
think
very, it's
the
that
term
stuff.
more like high efficiency living versus wasteful living. Instead of going off the
Yeah.
grid, because it sounds like Silver-haired Gamma is just just being more frugal and
Yeah.
Well, yeah, same with if you watch Lanny's channel, she puts me to shame, and I'm an extreme couponer,
Mhm.
and which is getting very hard because stores and coupons are starting to smarten up. But Retired Fit before 50, she puts me to shame. She's doing what I wanted to do, is get a bunch of chickens and stuff, and do that route, have eggs and then meat, and if you ask me, I suggest to everybody to watch her channel. Everybody I talk to, I tell them to watch her channel. You'll learn a lot about low grade, high efficiency, frugal. She puts me to shame. That's all there is to it. And I just love watching her channel.
I
it
just
And
learned
reminds
about
me.
your channel from watching Salivate Metal interview. That was a good interview, Lainey. Congrats.
Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate that. My face is turning like beet red right now.
No, I really
Aw.
enjoyed it. I didn't even know about your channel, and I'm like, look what I'm missing. I'm out of touch with the community.
I'm gonna post an update on those meat birds tomorrow and the layers that I got. My last group of layers were eaten by raccoons. At least their heads were. And so
Oh,
I've been out of laying. My laying hens have been gone for like 6-7 months now. But the meat birds, when my brother and I actually do that together, and I raise them and feed them and take care of them, and then we pick a day and he comes over and we process them ourselves here at my house.
oh,
And
wow!
then
I ain't got that kind of guts.
yeah, and
Poor chicken.
we grew up with it though, so it's a lot. I think it's a lot different when when you grow up with it. And so he comes over, we do the deed, and then I take all of the chicken carcasses, I guess you could call it, and I can the meat, and then I make the broth, and we try to use as much as we can. I mean, I even use the feet in the broth, which makes it really good. It tastes as close to canned chicken noodle soup that I've ever had in my life.
Exactly. People don't realize all them pieces parts make excellent broth.
Yeah.
Excellent broth.
Yeah,
Same with turkey.
Yes. Yeah, we did turkeys last year, and I'll never do turkeys again. They are the dumbest animals in the world. But
Aren't they though? Mean.
yeah, they are mean.
Mean.
But y'all know the crazy thing though is that my family, um, a lot of my family members, they used to work at a chicken factory actually, so they had to process meat, they had to prepare it, and sometimes my dad would come home and like he had wear those long sheets, the plastic sheets, and it'd just be oily, and he'd come home smelling like chicken. I'm like, ew. But like it's a lot, especially when, like, when you process chicken, it's a lot of oil. So it's crazy that you guys said that though.
Yeah,
Well,
and when you do meat, you can do any kind of meat. You just have to make sure that you have an actual pressure canner, not a regular water bath canner. I just thought,
Exactly.
yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in there.
sounds like that's the voice of experience.
Hey, it saves a lot of money. I mean, it really does. People be surprised how much money you save by doing that.
Oh yeah, and the meat is so much better.
Yeah,
I know my parents did beef, and oh my God! First of all, there wasn't enough freezers to hold everything. They actually had a butchered up because of course it's a big ass cow, but they had there wasn't enough freezers in the house. I mean, they bought freezers to keep all that meat, but the meat is so much better. There's like no grease in this stuff. You can cook up like 16 hamburgers and have like a tablespoon of grease in your skillet. And it just tastes a lot better. And you know, Lanny, with the canning thing, I sometimes I forget to be specific because like my grandma, her canners were like, I think they're about 4 feet round, 4 feet in diameter round. That's the ones that she had. I don't know what kind you use. Those round. Um, oh, what do you call it? Where you put the jars in
um,
instead of in a water bath?
yeah, the pressure canner.
Yeah, the pressure canner. Yeah. Hers were, I think it was about 3 or 4, may have been 3 feet in diameter, but they were round. And I think she said she can hold up to 16 jars in there, depending on size.
Yeah,
And and that's those were she had two of them. And I keep, you know, when people say candy, they usually think of the water bath, and I'm sitting there thinking of the round pressure thingies,
yeah,
and that's the efficient way to do it, honestly. But
yeah.
yeah, like I said, Lanny, you put me to shame, you know. You really do, but I do love your channel, and actually, I watch almost everyone here. Although I don't know um, the lady with the coin. Oh, who is it on my screen? She's
uh,
between Seattle and not so new.
PD ballerina.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Hi, BD Ballerina.
Yeah,
Hi.
she's cool.
Yeah, PD's real nice.
Well, hello to PD. That's the new one for me. I know Collector. I know Not So New. I know IKEONet. Of course, I know Seattle. He keeps me up on all the dish that's going on out there. I watch his. I like to watch his little news things, and of course Silver Siren, who I always thank and is grateful to. Um, but PD Balderine, do you have a YouTube channel?
I have one, but I haven't made a video in a very long time, and I've never made very many. But I've been around for quite a
Oh,
while.
Hi,
That,
well,
folks.
that's why you haven't seen me. Yeah, but I've been
oh,
around in the community for a few years now.
Yeah,
oh,
PD's low to the ground.
no, is he? Is Not So New leaving? Oh, he already left. I was gonna say bye. Oh, but
Oh,
yeah, I'll.
he said he had to go to dinner. So
Oh, oh, but I'll go check out PD's YouTube channel and say hello and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. I like to make as many friends as possible. So, but
I'm a grandma too.
oh well, see,
Yeah.
We got a soon-to-be grandma, hopefully, as soon as
Yeah.
she gets on him. As soon as she gets on him and says, "Get to it." And then I know I'm a grandma. I don't know, is Seattle? You're not a grandpa, are you?
No, I haven't. I haven't quite crossed the precipice yet.
You haven't?
It'll give it about 5 years.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, then in 5 years we're going to check in with Seattle and his grandpa dom.
Got one grandson and a granddaughter on the way. So.
Oh, I
Okay.
tell you what, after being in a house full of boys, it is certainly nice to have a girl, but they're so dramatic. Oh my goodness.
Well, I only
I
have
don't know how my dad.
so I only have one child, and she's
Go ahead.
yeah. I only have a daughter, so I
Oh.
tend to tease her that her daughter's going to be just like she is. But, yeah.
Oh, it's the
Mother's
truth.
curse. Yeah.
Uh,
I'm
Val-
excited.
Ballerina, what coin is that that is your icon picture? That's really cool. I've never seen that.
That is
Yeah.
a Russian Soviet era palladium. It's made of palladium ballerina,
That is
Oh.
and that's actually a picture of one of my coins.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
So it's not like from the internet. That's my coin.
Oh, that is nice. Hence the ballerina.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why you have that name.
Well,
Oh.
I have about 40 more, well, actually no, 50 more years until I become a grandparent. So, 50 years.
Well, I
If
hope.
you talk like that, it might happen in less than 5.
I had a grandmother, 32.
Yeah, collector for life. If you got a piece of wood laying around, you might knock on it.
Yeah, you know what they say, right, C4L? Never say never.
Exactly.
Well, I can say maybe, so that's a better thing to go. But like usually, like in my family, it's the norm to have about 6 kids. That's like the minimum. But my grandmother personally, she's had 27 kids. So
Oh.
Oh, good lord.
I know. That's why I'm a bit. My family's pretty big though, so that's why. But like it really is. It's the norm to have about 6 kids and more. Any less is a little bit weird, you know. So
Wow. Wow.
You have a little town in your family.
pretty much, actually, my family actually lives in the town. Just majority of them actually. They live in a small town, and everybody's related to everybody else, pretty much. Since my grandmother had a lot of kids. So it's quite interesting because you run into your like cousin that you've never met before, but you guys have the same last name. Like, okay, nice to meet you. Never seen you before. You know, it's weird.
I bet it would be.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Alrighty, folks, I gotta cut it short a little bit. There's a party outside, and I must make my way out there. So I will join
You
you
go,
guys
big
another
guy.
time. Nice talking to you, ladies, and see you, Seattle.
Nice talking
All
to
right,
you.
take care, man.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye, Akio.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question that has probably already been asked and answered, but since I was so late to the conversation, what is the latest fad in coins this week, or even this month? It's been so long since I've actually investigated. Does anybody know?
It's
Well,
a lot of Go ahead, Seattle.
I was gonna say there's been some in the community. I've seen people attempt to push out some coins, but nothing's caught fire. That actually, at least in my mind, I've seen the angels. I've seen this, that, and the other. It just seems kind of like right now there's a lot of buying of different things. At least that's what MCM is telling people.
Yeah.
I I got a Canadian coin, the airplane one, the World War I one that they put out. I got it for a pretty good price, but they're shipping stuff now 5 days late because of demand. They said that the demand is just so heavy that they're shipping 5 days late. So at least that's the story that's put out there. But as far as the fad, to directly answer your question, I haven't seen anything.
Um,
Silver Siren said Superman, and then someone else in the YouTube, Robert Morris, said Superman also.
My
like
problem is I'm not too thrilled with the Canadian coins. That's the only thing. I might get it for my grandsons though. Now that I think about it.
Oh, sorry. I feel as though a lot of people are buying bullion coins, like not so much as the older ones, like coins from the 1800s or the colonial time coins. I'm just seeing a lot of bullion, and they those types of coins, they're prone to milk spotting. So if you know, I'm thinking in my head, if you know they're prone to milk spots, why do you continue to buy bulks of them, you know? Especially if they're prone to it, wouldn't the value decrease anyway if they're prone to milk spotting and they have lots of milk spots?
I've seen coins sell with milk spots. I personally don't want, for my personal collection. I personally don't, but I know there's been some nice Canadian coins that little Mama, my 5-year-old, she's got an eye, and she liked them just like the reverse maple leaf. She liked that with the privy marks, the animal privy marks. But I think I might get a couple of Superman ones for my grandsons. But it's personal preference for people. I think some people might buy them and then resell them before the milk spots appear. But some people don't mind them, from what I've seen. But I know when I've been kind of looking, and I was just wondering what the how do I want to put it, the hot release, other than the Superman, because usually there's like 3 or 4 coins that everybody has to have. And sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's a bad thing, but I haven't been really investigating a whole lot because I've been doing other things. But I haven't really seen anything jump out at me, and I was just wondering if it was just me.
Too. It's Lady was retired.
Damn it. Sorry. Wow, I need to mute. Sorry. Okay.
So that's was my main question right there. So there.
Yeah. I agree. It's the Superman. I've seen it. I've seen them. I've gotten emails and stuff in the mail about that as well. But I've never had an interest in the Superman coins myself, so it's easy for me to just say that I haven't brought one. I don't think I'll be buying one. I think that's more faddish. Beyond my scope of indulgence to the coins. So
Yeah, I agree with you very much. I don't like really following the train that everybody wants to hop on. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go with the other coins that I like personally. Like, are you if you look from it like an investor standpoint or a collector standpoint, you could be either for the money, like the monetary value, or maybe of the value. So you may like the coin, or like the eye appeal of the coin, and that it fits you.
I think if anybody's watched any of my videos, I think you know that I have a different eye for different types of coins. I don't normally go with the norm. I just go with stuff that catches my eye. And one thing I have found out, anything and everything, especially with the silver, because I collect a lot of different things. You'd be surprised. I really collect a lot of different things, and it's always things that catch my eye. But with the silver, no matter what you collect, even if nobody wants it, you're always going to get at least the spot value for it, or around there. It's always going to be worth something. But if you want to make mega millions or mega amount of money on a coin, it's whatever anybody's, just like anything else, it's whatever somebody's willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
And, you know, so that's why I always, if I collect something, I collect what catches my eye. And like I said, as far as like with the coins, if anybody's watched any of my videos when I was showing off my collections, I just like my Star Trek collection. I don't know if that's going to be worth anything. Who knows? But I like it, and that's what was important to me. It made me happy, and I like looking at them, and I like knowing that I have them. Is somebody going to want a whole set one day? Probably not. Could I? Well, maybe. Could I sell it? Yeah, no, maybe. But I collect what I collect, like my Greek creatures of mythology. I like those coins. Now, I thought the Cerberus coin was awesome. I think all those coins in that series is awesome. I collect the Forgotten Cities series because that's in my wheelhouse of knowledge. Same with the Greek, Roman, Egyptian, ancient Egypt, anything religious. That's all in my wheelhouse of knowledge, and it's fascinating to me. Is somebody going to pay a lot of money for it? I don't even know if I want to sell it. But the point is, if somebody does want it, they're only going to pay what they want to pay, and that's what anything truly, what anything is of value, is what somebody's willing to pay for it. So I suggest everybody just collect what catches their eye. But the Superman thing, I think I just might do that for my grandsons.
Yeah.
Little Mama wasn't too. I did see that. I was reading my email and I got a thing for it, and she's like, eh. But the boys, they're a different story. And they don't know. They're only 1 and 2 months. Who cares? You know, at least to getting them a start.
Mhm.
So, but that was my 2 cents, and nobody cares.
Well, I care. Um, I saw some news reports about the Long Beach show that somebody tried to steal a $300,000 rare coins, but
Mm.
security stopped them. They had a backpack containing all the coins, the rare coins within them. I'm happy that they were apprehended. You know, that's a lot of that for some people. That's a lot of money, especially if they almost walked out with it.
I would think that'd be hard to unload, especially somebody claims that they were stolen. You'd
Yeah.
think that would be hard to unload. Mm-mm-mm.
And I remember
Okay, this way.
Salivate, he made a video about the statue, the gold and the silver statue that was stolen. I think that's pretty ridiculous that somebody stole it, and the security guard didn't even think about being around the objects when they were stolen. He was somewhere else. I'm like, if you think this item's worth about, let's say, 9 million, and the other one's $7 million, wouldn't you want to be around the item? And it's sad that the man who owned it, he got ambushed, and where's the guard that's supposed to be protecting these items? But I think that's a little messed up there.
Did you read the stories that were linked in that video?
No, I have not read them yet. I just watched the video.
Go back and read the stories later. You'll get a kick out of it. Silver Siren said insurance scam if I had to guess, and I think she's probably right. The guy mortgaged his house and evidently took out loans to commission the 2 eagles. One of them was gold and silver, and the other, I think, if I remember correctly, and then the other one was solid silver, the quote-unquote decoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's got insurance scam written all over it.
That could oh yeah, I think that I think I saw that also. But that's crazy. That's a lot of money, especially.
Yeah, and in one of the articles, the guy who owns it is the one who valued it at $7 million. So if he didn't insure it correctly, he can, if it wasn't an insurance scam, he can pretty much kiss that goodbye. So, I mean, just ridiculous. The whole thing was just crazy. I mean, I guess the security guard wasn't even with him, wasn't even in that area when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he was carrying it in a backpack on his back. So, yeah, that was funny.
Who does that though? Like, if you have
Exactly.
something that's for like $9 million, you wouldn't be carrying it inside a backpack. You would just be carrying it in like a protective case, a gun-proof case, a lock, a safe at least, but not a backpack.
Yeah, Chris D over in the YouTube comments said that statue's already melted. I think he's probably right. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Well, it'd have to be because you couldn't upload that anywhere.
No, there's no way you can. That just, I thought it was reading those stories. I just thought it was hilarious, because it does. If it's insured right, that was just to cash out. So, especially if you've mortgaged your house and taken out loans to do that. I mean, really, who does that anyway?
People
Not
who
me.
want a statue made with silver and gold and solid silver.
Well,
People
learn to
like
pour and do
him.
your own.
Yes. Hey, Gamma, that might be a good idea since that story is floating around. See if you can find a mold similar to it.
I have already talked with Pat about doing a 3D two-part mold of an eagle. Actually, I've already talked with Pat about doing. He knows. Excuse me, I need to cough, so I'm going to mute for a second. Okay, I'm back. Pat and I have already talked, and I don't know if people can tell, but I'm going a certain way with my pouring. I'm not into doing bars, as y'all know.
Yeah.
Although I am going to be doing some, but it's only because some people have requested, and they're not huge. I think the biggest one I think I'm going to do is a 100-gram one, but I have a certain way I'm going to be doing that one. But I'm more into the artwork, and I want to do. I don't know if it's even a word, doing silver art,
No,
and
that's not bad.
so Pat and I have already talked because I do love his work, and he knows what I like. And just like with the pizza, the way it was originally supposed to be done was that there was supposed to be a slice cut out of it, and then I would pour a separate silver pour with the slice that has been cut out and send it that way, but he couldn't get the machine to do it right. And it was all off kilter, and it just would not work. So we went with the whole one. But there's different lines that I want to do. I'm going to have a Gamo's Funtime Park line, and the first release from that, I'm letting everybody get a heads up. Everybody's getting a heads up. That's an exclusive. The first release from the Gamo's Funtime Park line is going to be a 3-horse carousel.
Oh, wow.
And that's going to take about 7 molds to do that one. I'm having a Gamo's Pirate Adventure line, which the first release of that is the one that's coming out in middle of August, around there, middle to late August, and that is a treasure chest. And that'll be in 3 different parts, and I'll have to put it together. But it's going to be a treasure chest with like the wood plank look on the side. The top of the trunk will have jewels and everything heaping out of it, with the lid will be half open. So, and it'll be between 3 and 5 ounces on that one.
So,
And then I'm having a Gamo's rendition. It's a working title, but it'll be like Gamo's mythology series, where we're going to have 2-part molds where I will actually be making like the Medusa. I think y'all know who Medusa is, one with the snake head. I mean, head for snakes and everything. That'll be an actual 2-part mold, and it'll be actually the actual figurine. It's not going to be on a round or nothing. It's going to be the actual figurine of that. Same with Cerberus and the Minotaur, all of them. Pegasus. I'm going to have Gamel's mystical slash, how do I put it? Mystical slash fantasy line, where I'm having actual unicorn. The unicorn made. These are going to be little actual figurines for that. And of course, everybody knows I'm having a Gamel's Kitchen line, which, from Gamel's Kitchen, you have the hamburger and the pizza. The pizza was not supposed to be released yet, but since the hamburger was taken, as long as it did, but I have a whole line of that. There's a lot of different lines I'm going to be having, and I'm more into the artwork of it. And I also told Pat I want it affordable, so I don't want anything huge. I don't work with anything huge. I don't know if it's because I'm the female of the group, because I am, as far as I know, the only female on YouTube that pours. I'm not saying I'm the only one, but as far as I know on YouTube, I'm the only female that pours. And I'm separate from the guys. I'll let them have their, just like Hi-Ho Silver. That man comes out, he does bars, but they're artwork to me. They look like artwork. The way he can do his pour lines and things, I just respect the heck out of him. I really, truly do. And from what I understand, he's a very nice guy. We've actually talked through emails, but there's a lot of different things. So, and the eagle is one of the things that I talked with Pat about from my Gamel's America. And what better way to say that than the eagle, bald eagle. And so I've already talked with Pat about that. And of course, none of my stuff is going to be huge. All my stuff is like 3 to 5 ounces. But when you put them all together, because like with the Gamel's Funtime Park, I talked with Pat, and once you put all these pieces together, like I said, I'm going to start with the carousel. I want the popcorn cart, of course, there. Just like you would go to an amusement park. I want a log ride, this and that. But the cream of the crop is I will be putting together, and I figured it'll take about 2 years, is I am putting together a roller coaster. So I'm really putting Pat to the test.
Wow.
Yeah. But the roller coaster is definitely going to be more than 3 to 5 ounces, but the pieces itself will not be. I'll have to put everything together. And once I get done with all my different lines, you will actually have a complete, like with the amusement park, you will have a complete amusement park. That if you want to collect all the pieces. And that's what I'm aiming for, just like with the Gamel's Kitchen. You're going to actually have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, foods, desserts, that kind of stuff, once you put it all together. So, but if anybody has any suggestions, I would be more than happy to do a suggestion. I just love pouring silver. I love it. I love everything about it. I love learning about it. I love learning what it could do. Just like I said, I'm learning how to pour different things, like with the pickles that I had to do with the hamburger. I was throwing that silver in the mold, literally. And I did a video. You could see it splatter. I'm not afraid to take chances because I have to know what things can do. So I'm constantly down at my workbench playing. I play for hours just to see. But if y'all have suggestions, I'd be more than happy to talk with Pat and see what we can do.
Would you ever make a mold of your grandkids?
You know what? I don't know. I never thought of that, actually. Wow. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I would really want to, but you never know. You never know. I thought about doing a mold for Gene Simmons of the group Kiss and sending it to him. I actually thought about that. Hubby's like, Les, do you think you... I was like, what's he going to do? I made it for him. There you go. But no, I'd never thought of that. No, that's a good idea. I'll toss that one around. I will toss that one around. Just for them. I can imagine. They'd feel like the beans, that's for sure.
Oh,
But if y'all have...
Though.
Yeah, for them. Yeah. Of course, I could probably make one for all their grandparents, you know.
Yeah.
So that would be in their parents and for them. Put that in their little silver box. I think that might be something to do. Honestly, that might be something to do.
over in the YouTube
Any,
comments, they're talking about full stack videos.
Over where?
In the comments on the YouTube, where this is playing on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm trying to read that, and my eyes aren't so good, but. I like PD Ballerina. You can't pour a hot silver on children. Awesome. That is awesome. Oh, although they tick me off, you never know. Oh, that is awesome. I love it.
Retire before 50. Would you ever do a full stack video?
No. No. And the reasons, there's a couple of different reasons. The main reason is because people know what I look like.
Yeah.
So.
I agree with Lanny on that one, because when I actually have my website going, you're going to see what I look like. You'd see what I look like now if somebody else would hold the camera, but yeah, I wouldn't do one either. I'm not Silver Slacker. I don't have a place to take mine that's high security, this and that. Not that I have all of it here. I do have the home somewhere else, but you know, I just don't want that worry that somebody might think I have it all here, and I don't want that worry.
Yeah.
And you know,
Trust me,
not.
you'll start buying more guns after that. You'll
Oh,
be
we've got a
driving home.
few.
You'll be driving home late at night, and there'll be, seems like someone's tailing you, and you're going 3 to 4 miles out the way.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
nighttime.
You know what? You know what, Seattle? I actually thought of that. I really, truly did. I was like, man, maybe I should go here and there and see if they follow me. But yeah, and we do have a few guns here. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I don't want that worry. I do not want that worry.
Trust me, it's not a. It gets it has its issues. The longer you can stay in anonymity, I'd say stay there. That's just
Yeah.
my own personal advice.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I don't do as many coin videos and stuff like that a lot of people do, and that's the main reason why is because they know what I look like. So.
Yeah. I totally understand. I also want to welcome Silver Saver into the chat.
Silver Saver.
Hey, Silver Saver.
Like,
How you doing, girl?
I totally understand about the videos and being very careful, because I literally do all my videos in one tiny little spot on my desk. I don't move it beyond that spot. Usually I just keep it in one spot, or I put it on my computer screen. You only see the computer. I don't even show my URL or anything like that. I keep it in one tiny little spot. It's right there. That's all you guys gotta see. You only need to see the coins. You don't need to see around the room. So that's what I usually do when I make videos. I don't show my face. I never do anything like that. And
Just
it takes me a couple of times, like a couple of tries. If I see something in the video that should not be seen, I have to make the video all over again, and I do that repeatedly to make sure that I'm secure and I'm safe.
Yeah, the trolls on for this community are very good at figuring out who people are. So you have to
Yeah.
be careful.
Yeah, that's why when I tape my stuff too, I'm real careful about windows, looking out the windows and seeing what's there. And then when I'm outside, when my future like garden updates and things like that, I try to stay away from doing wide angles and just throw in on actually what I'm talking about, just to try and keep it safe. So because there are some whack jobs out there.
I know, it's completely ridiculous. It's ridiculous how many crazy people there are. But yeah, I do the same. I just make sure things are not out on my desk so that I can reveal my identity. Um, Usually some things as all I keep is an elements chart. Pretty much, I'm good to go.
Actually, I think it's a lot of work getting all your stuff out to set up and record and tape it and then put it back and then wherever you keep it, get it back in its spot. And and honestly, like I said, I'm the type, I don't really collect things that people won't really want to see anyway. They want all this other popular stuff, and I don't. I show what I get in, my oddities that I like, and then that's it. So, no, I don't want. Of course, I showed everybody my basement. There wasn't nothing down there. I don't mind showing them my basement. I don't mind showing them my backyard because you ain't gonna tell where it's at. I can guarantee that one. If you can see where I'm at from looking at a wall on my kitchen table, more power to you. I mean, more power to you. But I agree with Seattle. I don't want the worry, the hassle. I don't mind shooting guns. I love shooting guns. I love going target practice, but the idea of having to shoot a human in the leg, it's just not in my character. Unless I have to protect my children or grandchildren, then that's a different story, huh?
Or some pepper spray, or a taser.
Look, if somebody's breaking in my house, they're going to be going through stuff, and I don't think they're going to be so nice to stand there to let me pepper spray them. You're breaking into my house. You're getting shot at least in the leg, and that is all there is to it. That's what you get.
Let me add a little something. Center mass, 3 rounds minimum down that area.
Yeah.
Forget the leg. Forget the leg.
I'm trying to make this. I'm trying to make this as PG as possible. but
I'm a bit of a realist in that area.
What about like if you start off, somebody's entering your house, at least have like a paintball gun to say
please.
Here's a warning.
I've been hit with a paintball gun. It don't hurt. I mean, it hurts, but it ain't going to stop me.
Oh, no, Collector for Life. If somebody's coming in your house, they're not coming in for tea.
They got marmalade.
Here, would you like some brownies that I made earlier too? I mean,
No.
Well, they will just leave, to be honest, because they're like, why are you asking me for brownies? Are you crazy or something? Like, is this some, Hansel and Gretel stuff? Put me in the oven?
Trust me, you watched as many videos as I've watched of crazy stuff going on and people coming through people's doors. They ain't coming in to help.
Yeah, they're not going to come in and clean and do your dishes. No.
Like, they're like, hey, I saw a speck on the window. Do you mind if you want me to clean that for you? Nah.
I'll be like, no, leave that speck right there along with the little face smudges. No. Don't clean it. Don't even bother. Collector for Life, honestly, when you get older and you have a home and you have, you get married and have kids and you know, you've got things you need to protect, you get a different mentality, and they will be shot.
Yeah, you will handle that threat. Trust me. You know, you know, it's when you get older, when you get about 27, 30 years old, that mentality, you know, things will change for you. You know, I've been there. You know, so
Yeah,
it'll
yeah.
change.
Look at Silver Saver over here on the side. She now one of the things when my first Silver Saver first came on YouTube, I was one of the first ones I think, or one of the first 100. One thing I loved about her, she's got a matching pink pistol and pink knife, and nicely done up. You see this dainty, lovely lady, and then she did this video. She's like, "Now this is what I have," and pulls out this pink pistol. I was like, I love her. I've got to be her friend. I love her.
But don't forget her matching nail polish also.
Oh,
Have the nail
awesome!
with it. You
Awesome.
know, you
It
gotta look
is.
nice.
Silver Saver, you are the bomb. Yeah, I talk about you all the time. I, yeah, she just cracks me up. And there's no way, I can tell you right now, there's no way I'd even think about going to her house and trying to break in. I'd be like, no, no. I watched her video, no.
Like, I wouldn't mind working for the Air Force after college. I think that'd be a great opportunity, especially with the benefits. I have spoke to some people, like I have family members who were in the military, the Air Force. Well, majority of my family members, they were from the Air Force. So they told me like they have a lot of benefits, and that's like if you want to really get ahead and be like top rank, you will go to the Air Force, and that's where I actually want to go at least after college. And it doesn't have to mean like I'm gonna be like out there off across the sea, like across the ocean and doing dangerous stuff, but I can still help out with telecommunications and dealing with people, you know. So I would not mind doing that after college.
I'm way past
Oh,
college age.
so Silver Saber said go to war college. Ah, I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
Go to war college?
Yeah,
I didn't know there was such a thing.
or
In
I could just
Annapolis.
yeah, like I could go to Harvard Law so I can study law in case like wouldn't
Good, then you
Harvard
could defend. Good, you go to Harvard Law and defend me while I shoot somebody who's breaking into my house.
will do. I'll give you a discount. You know,
Isn't that mighty nice?
yeah, I'll give you like a couple percentage, you know, discount. You know, it's on the house. It's on the house. Not on your house, but like
I read the Seattle wants to know what Seattle her video with her pink gun is like her second or third video, I think. On her site. She may have sent you the link to it already. It's cute as hell, I have to admit. And then I was shocked when Silver Diva did one. And I was like, daggone it. I was like, maybe I should do one. It's like, all right, here's my full armory. Here you go. Wow. Yeah, I think how many? Just a quick random survey. How many people here right now, either watching or joining in the conversation, has firearms?
I do.
I do. Is that
Yeah.
it?
Silver Saver says she does. We know.
Oh, I know she does. Ballerina does.
I don't have any guns.
Really? I thought you would at least have one. I thought you'd have at least 5.
You know,
Don't believe him.
You know he's BSing now, right, y'all? We all know he's got. I've seen too many of his videos. That man is loaded and ready to go.
well,
There is no way. I'm gonna hire him to be my bodyguard one day. I don't have to worry about nothing. I'm like, talk to Seattle. Get past him, I dare you.
Well, at least when I turn 21, I'll be able to own a handgun. That'd be good. I'm 21, so I got a couple more years to go.
Yeah.
And like,
Or you can be,
it's
you could be
weird.
like, I know minors who have guns. It's just in their mama's name.
Yeah. I'm like, it's a bit weird because they say you can own like a rifle or a shotgun at around like 18, but you have to be 21 in order to like have a handgun. I'm like, well, what packs a little bit more punch? I think a shotgun will pack a bit more punch, or like
But
a
you gotta
rifle.
understand, for a shotgun, for it to do major damage, you gotta be close.
Oh.
I'm going to shoot my people from down the hall. They ain't getting near me. Rifle, who wants to sit there and load up and get a rifle all ready and everything while they're charging you? Pistol, boom, there you go. Get a semi-automatic, you're fine. You can grab
Like,
it real quick, boom.
like what guns do you suggest like owning, and what guns do you not suggest owning?
It just depends on what you can handle. I personally have shot 44s, but I can't handle a 44 all the time, especially now with my hands.
Mm.
So I go with something that's a smaller caliber. It's just whatever you're used to firing. I think Lanny, Lanny, have you been around guns all your life?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
And
same here. Family of hunters and all that. I've been shooting since I was young. I could probably handle some. Lanny, of course, we know Seattle can. So, Silver Saver. If we're used to shooting, we're going to be able to handle something a lot more powerful than you can. But
Mhm.
it's whatever. That doesn't mean you can't go to a gun range and practice. So it's whatever can fit in your hand comfortably that will do the job.
Yeah.
So
and
So like
collector for life.
when
How tall are you?
I'm very short, like very, like I could get on roller coasters, but compared to other people I know, I'm quite
Okay.
short.
Okay.
see,
Let me ask you this: Are you shorter than 5'3"?
Yeah.
Okay, because I am 5'3" and I wear a size 5 ring. I'm actually not a big person. And when I was looking at handguns, for myself, um, the like a Glock 9mm, couldn't get my hand around. And so when you start looking, I ended up with a Smith and Wesson 38. So
well, 38 is a good size.
yeah, I mean it'll do
So
some damage. But
yeah, Silver Siren said the same thing that I was actually thinking, maybe a 9mm.
yeah, I couldn't get my hand around it.
Well, I don't. Well, I didn't know she was so teeny tiny either. You know, but
Yeah.
I was, you know, but 38's a good size. Um, it just depends on what you can handle. The best way to do that is just go to a gun shop and start putting them in your hand.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like
yeah, it was,
I've been to a couple franchises and stuff. Do you like I've been outside of the state and I like seen different gun shops. So have you guys heard of Cabela's or that
Yeah,
shop? Yeah. Like I went in there and I'm like, okay, nice, cool. That's a bit big. That's not my color. It needs and I like some of the guns, they were nice, but I'm like that's weird. That's not for me. Like I want something that fits me personally. Like can do you get your guns designed? You like put little could you possibly do like graphic design or on your gun? It say like they
never
could
thought about it.
say hello, like there's like a catchphrase on it that says say hello to my little friend, or you
I'd like to put
know
that on the bullets, actually. Say hello to my little friend.
it is little
You
though.
know,
It's
no. Hey,
pretty hot.
PD Ballerina carries a Sig P238. Um, so I was just reading that right there. I never thought about putting design on my gun. I don't really worry about that part of it. I don't want to worry about that part of it. I want to know what it can do. I'm one of those. I'm not into looks. But I never
I
thought
like
about that. I don't necessarily want it that personalized. Really. What if I have to shoot someone and ditch it? I don't want nobody to know. Say, hey, her name's on that. You know, I don't want to. Just kidding. I was just joking on that one. You know.
Like, it's like that show, How to Get Away with Murder. Step 1, don't design your own gun. Don't get it personalized.
It was never been a thing to think
Yeah.
about. My thing was, is it going to be able to kill a rabbit? You know.
Okay,
You know.
There
here's
we
a
go.
little something right here.
Oh, there's my dude. That's a nice sized one. As far as that's something you can use, collector.
Yeah, this is something you can use. This is one I haven't even done a video for. Something like this.
That's nice.
Yeah.
A nice little Glock 42. It's a 380 caliber. If you get something like the critical defense rounds for it, 85 grains, hollow point jacketed, it'll still penetrate right up to about 13 inches. That's really what you need. Just in case, like I said, you know, you got to put some center mass and someone's going to, you know, they're not going to stand there and just open their arms up and let you, you know, get a clear shot. So you need to be able to punch through bone. This right
Exactly.
here will do the job. You need
Yeah.
something
See, there you
small
go.
like this. A little pocket rocket is what I call it. This is what I just throw in my pocket, and whenever I just, you know, quickly got to go somewhere, just throw it in my pocket.
Ooh, what is that again? I think I might want to get one of them. I can't very well. It's a
Glock 42.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. Glock 42, 38, 380.
Yep. It's a little 380. Gen 4. Let's see here. I think this one's empty. So,
How many's in the clip?
you got 6. I got a video. I just haven't even uploaded it. I did the video on this a few months ago. But I just haven't uploaded it. But it's 6 rounds. It's just, you know, pocket rocket. But it comes with 2 clips, and you can buy a couple more if you really want to get them. I do recommend getting extended ones. I didn't bring that out. But for my hand, you know, there's nothing in here. But for my hand, when I'm holding it, I still got this little bit right there. So I have, you know, medium-sized hands. For a woman's hands, this would be perfect for the type of hand size that you were talking about. It's a perfect one to have.
There you go, collector. There you go, Laney.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Me too. Ooh.
So, I saw a video on the, it's like a trend.
1 second. Let me lean up under here and grab something underneath this thing. I got a 19 hit around here somewhere. Hold on.
But, what's like your favorite weapon in case there was ever a zombie apocalypse?
Oh, GZ cow. Really? A zombie apocalypse? A bomb.
Okay, okay, that's a good idea.
Grenade.
I got tagged in that. Yes, I did. Charlie Rock tagged me in that. I haven't done the video yet.
I'm gonna have to go with the machete. I like machetes actually.
I don't want to get that close to one.
In case I am close to one, I would like to have a machete. You know?
I don't.
That one's a lot bigger.
That is big.
Yeah, that's the size that when I was originally looking years ago, that's the size that I tried, and it just wasn't work.
Yeah, you want one of these. I mean, you can get one of these like the 42. See if it'll focus again. There you go.
Yeah, that's a nice looking gun. Yep, I see it. 380 auto.
Yeah, you get something like this, and this one's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
It's a 17. This is a full service duty weapon. That's a lot bigger, you know. But this is something for when it gets colder outside. This is for summer, definitely. But I'm working on getting a 27 to put in here too.
Hey, you can never have too many.
No, this is a very expensive habit.
It is.
it's
It
a
is.
very expensive habit, trust me.
It truly is. But you know what? I would rather have at least one and then be prepared and then not have any.
Yeah.
But growing up with, like I said, a family of hunters, I was raised around guns. We knew not to get into the gun cases or anything. We actually had some sense.
Yeah.
And of course, none of the ammo was with any of the firearms. They were always put somewhere else where I don't even know. But I recommend at least one, especially nowadays, and especially as I'm older and I can't protect myself like I used to. Um,
Yeah.
I recommend at least one, even if it's this little 42 Glock for collector. I'm with Laney. I'm going to check that out though. I truly am. It looks cute. like Silver Saber's pink one. It looks cute. I must say, Silver Saver, she just wrote a big old thing with great advice on there. I just read it, and but I must say, she when she shoots somebody, she's going to do it in style. I
Yes.
will say that. She will look to the nines, and she will be matching her gun with her outfit, and she is going to do it in style. And then when she's done, I can see her now. She's going to blow on the tip of the gun
I
and
know.
say, "Do you want some tea now?" I can see her say, I can see her doing it. It's and Silver Saver, I want you to know I'm saying this in pure love because I think you're great, and I just that pink gun. I loved her from the beginning. That was excellent. I have to admit, but this is something people say, why are we talking about guns on the silver thing? Well, because people who like me or anybody I would suggest who has a lot of money tied up in their precious metals, whether it be silver, gold, palladium, rhodium, whatever, they have to be cautious.
Yes.
And you never know. Even though I feel like I live in a safe area, nothing is safe. You know, I can go down my street. I don't have to worry about it. But that doesn't mean that one night some yahoos won't come around. You know what I mean? And somebody might, you never know. They get desperate. They could hurt me. They could hurt my family. That is my main priority, is the family. Is to protect them. My home, they can burn down my home. There's insurance, but they're not going to burn down my family. And so, you have to be precautious. You have to be cautious. And with their precious metals, if somebody knows you have them, they could. There's some desperate people out there. So you got to protect yourself. It's not a. I don't want it in my home for. Because I'm pissed off somebody, I'm going to shoot him in the leg. No, if somebody is going to, like we said, if somebody is going to try to take and harm, this is what you need to do. And so, I think it's good, like with Seattle when he does his, I don't always comment on a lot of the videos because sometimes it's hard for me to type on this small-ass keyboard, but, I think it's great information.
Yeah.
You have to be well-rounded, and I think most people that are in the silver, I won't say most, some of the people I know for sure in the silver community who are well-rounded, like Lanny, we try to save money where we can to be able to afford our precious metals or to have some sort of different types of savings or afford something else. And so we do what we can to not leave our carbon mark. We do what we can to make sure everything is safe around us. Because first and foremost, what I want is when my grandkids come over, I want them to be safe. This is
Yeah.
their safe haven.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault that I'm involved in whatever I'm involved in. So they need to be safe. They need to be safe at Gamel's house. This is their safe haven.
Mhm.
This is their playpen. And this is why we need all this information. Not just silver, but things that go with it. And I think even though a lot of people here seem to have their different styles and of how they do different things, I think it's all educational. Just like you have the young ones like Collector for Life, it's nice to see their perspective, because we know what concerns and what they're looking at, and that makes us well-rounded as being older, because sometimes as we get older we get tunnel vision, and sometimes it's nice to go outside the box. But as far as the young ones listening to the older ones like us, like she can see, it takes Seattle, it takes Lanny, it takes Silver Siren. Silver Siren, she has great information herself. She knows coins. Silver Siren knows her coins, and plus she also affords us this type of forum to get out different types of information, and all of us different type of people, so we can all learn and be well-rounded. And I think, if somebody says, looking at this later on, say, why are they talking about firearms? Because it's necessary.
That's right. Yep, it sure is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, I agree 1,000% because, like I said, when you walk into a gas station, I'll never forget the first time, I didn't know my videos were getting popular with people. I'm in a gas station and the guy mentions the death by cold steel report. It just threw me off guard. I'm like, okay, so people, that once it have been a fluke. But then you hear it and you hear the remarks when you go in the stores and stuff, you know that people are taking notice. And you also do videos for precious metals. You got to protect yourself because there's a lot of loons out there too. It just comes with the territory.
Yep.
So you have to do, if you're gonna show your face, you have to do things to kind of you have to just protect yourself. You really do, because you don't know who knows you.
Exactly.
You just don't know. You don't know because you're out there in the public eye. So it's just something that you have to do.
Exactly. Just like with Silver Slacker, that man, he does everything possible to save his anonymity. He doesn't even have things sent to him personally. He does everything in his power to protect his anonymity. Salivate Metal does the same thing, because let's face it, they're very, 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 very well known. They've got 7,000 followers. They don't know. They truly don't know who they do and do not, or who does and does not know them. And I applaud them for that. Seattle's right. You got to take every precaution. Every.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because since I do show my face, and then of course most other people don't. When I'm out somewhere, my main concern is that somebody's going to recognize me. Of course, I won't be able to recognize them. So that is a main concern.
Just wait till I drive a couple hours to your house, Laney, and you have some strange lady with gray hair show up and just start staring you down.
Oh, that's right, because you do have that number.
Yeah.
Because the Postal Service hating my guts there for a couple of days.
Yeah. Yeah, poor Laney. I was sending something to her, and the address she gave me, the Postal Service like, no, we're not delivering it, no. And I'm like, what? It's like non-deliverable. So I felt bad, and I was like, look, this is coming back. Because I hate that, because Losing Louie, one of his came back, and I'm like, do you guys not like me or something? Return it back to sender. Because Losing Louie protects his at all costs also, because he's got little kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't blame him, but it was actually a postal thing. It wasn't, thank God, as we can tell, Laney doesn't hate my guts, but
No.
not until I show up in her driveway and just start eating popcorn and drinking my Coke and just staring her down.
I would recognize your voice, but
oh yeah.
It was you, and then it was the order that I did with Mr. Zeke, and then Red Beam sent me something, and his actually returned to his house. They completely lost that package. They kept thinking that it was delivered, and of course it wasn't. And then I asked him to cut out when he got the package back. He confirmed the address with me, and he had the correct P.O. box number. And they were just, for some reason, refusing to give me my stuff. And the delivery confirmation number on that one, I ended up filing a complaint with the postmaster. And because this one, I asked him, he said he'd resend it, and so he did, but I asked him if he'd cut out the top, and he did, and he included it in the package. And, of course, the post office that I deal with, they're idiots anyway. I mean, anything and everything in order to make it, kind of I don't know if it's a power trip or what the deal is, but yeah, anything and everything that they can do to make you feel, like you're a moron, which I do eBay, so I ship stuff out all the time. I finally got to the point where I just meet the postal carrier at the mailbox and hand her my packages now. I don't even go down there unless I want to check the PO box now.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
So, like, at this stage in my life, how do I protect myself legally?
You're doing a good job so far.
Yeah, I don't think you've got anything to worry about.
I think it's because I don't, I guess I don't have gold. I guess some people see gold and rare coins. I don't show, I don't have that actually whatsoever. Because I'm young, and who has the money, especially when you're young, to afford that stuff. So I'm like, I guess I'm in a good stage of my life because people don't expect me, myself, as my age, to be able to afford really rare and expensive precious metals.
But that doesn't matter. The fact that you're a minor to begin with.
Yeah.
You got to watch the crazies.
I
It
know.
doesn't have anything to do with the gold and silver, honey. You're a minor, and so far, as long as you don't show your face or anything specific that somebody could tell, you're doing a good job so far. So I worry about the minors that are on here because of you don't know who's on here, like somebody said earlier. And so as long as your face is hidden, they can't see anything specific, you're doing a good job so far.
This is a little off the wall, but I just want to throw this out there. I thought about doing a video of what, kind of like celebrity faces for certain YouTube stackers that I see, where you never see your face, you always see your hands, as to what I see, the face that I see whenever I'm watching that particular video.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That makes sense.
That would be awesome.
I thought about it, but I'm afraid I'll offend somebody.
You won't offend me, girl. That's awesome. Although on some of my videos, you can actually see kind of the side of my face. But like I said, if somebody else was holding the camera, you'd see who I am. I'm one of those. There's nothing here. So, but I do understand. There is some security things that I need to do for my family, especially with my grandkids running around. But yeah, I would not take offense. I've got visuals of how people would look like, and I would like to see what other people's take on how other people look. And I even thought one time, I was like, maybe we should have, this is what literally way early on, I was like, we should have a gathering of all YouTube silver stackers. And then I got to thinking, what if somebody comes in saying that they are and they're not? You know what I mean? And I was like, nah, bad idea. Bad idea. Bad idea.
I think you can tell a lot about a person by the way their hands look. Or at least imagine that you can.
You can tell what, hon?
A lot about a person by the way their hands look. Wasn't that what Laney was saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a combination of the way your hands and your voice.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Seattle, I think you had some powder burn on your hands there.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. Seattle has the hands of my bodyguard. That's what he has. But I agree. I see what PD Ballerina and Lanny are saying, and so I would love it, Lanny. I think I really do have a really rich, demented sense of humor to begin with, so I would love it. I'd find it hilarious. I would.
Like, yeah, like that's what some people do though. YouTube has their VidCon where all the YouTube fans see the YouTubers. I'm like, that's a bit creepy though, don't you think? You have all these fans that just come to see you, and to have so much publicity and you being very mindful of your safety, especially. Like some people have over like 9 million subscribers, and like how does somebody deal with that?
Um, 9 million. Wow. I mean, that's a pretty big group of people. That's First of all, you're gonna need the email directly for those people to just don't blow up your email box. I mean, mine can get pretty busy at times on certain videos. There's always some infighting going on, but yeah, it's a good problem to have because
Right.
I mean, at 9 million people, you can your revenue generating should be pretty good at that point.
Yeah.
Should be pretty good. I mean, I don't. I mean, at 2,000, I make about $100 every 3 months from Google Ads. So I
Some
mean,
people, yeah,
yeah,
they
9 million.
some.
Wow,
Mhm.
I would expect 2,000 every 3 months
Yeah, like
I'd be happy
at
to hit
least.
400.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
but it's
I
easy for some people. They, make about 200,000 per year, depending on their subscribers, and then they also have a day job with that, and they still get money from it. And then some people, they're able to go on TV or um, TV networks. They pick them up, like, hey, yeah, you should totally be part of MTV. Like I know
well,
one YouTuber, yeah,
at that point, like Seattle said, they have enough money to where they can afford all the safety guards and all the
yeah,
protection that they need as far as security systems, security guards, whatever. Um, that is so extreme, right there. I don't think anybody in civil community's got that many. I think there's a few on their way, but like I said, I'm one. I'd just be happy to hit 400. So oh, but I'm one of the minuscule ones, so I wouldn't even be able to fathom something like that. But there are a couple people in the community that I am going to meet in person. One of them is Lady Liberty Stacker.
hmm
We actually live, I think, about an hour and a half from each other. Um, so we are going to meet. Right now, she's really busy with golf tournaments and everything. She belongs to two of them, so we got to wait till like closer to the fall. I said that's fine. I don't care. I would like to meet Lanny in person. She's only one state over. She ain't that far. So like I said, I'll be showing up anyway. So so I would like to meet Walt 2T. He actually lives like 45 minutes from me. Um, and there's a lot. I would like to meet Silver Saver one day. Before Silver Diva left, she was an hour and a half from me also, and we did find out until she was moving, and I was like, crap, and she said the same thing. There's a lot of people I would really, really like to meet on YouTube, but then again, you got the safety thing, and
yeah.
there's quite a few that I would really, really, almost everybody I talk to, actually, I would really like to meet, because I think everybody's nice that I've talked to.
Like
And,
we should totally have like a convention or something. Like,
that would be
yeah,
that's what I said. That would be dangerous because what if people come in
yeah,
and they're
I know.
not
Yeah.
able,
Yeah,
you
well,
know,
you gotta think about that. Like, wouldn't
y-
you have to verify this is actually your channel? Like, but like, if you had like a YouTube representative who goes over everybody's accounts, and like, what did you have to prove that's your actual account in the first place? And this is who you really are, who you say you are, just to make sure.
Poor Silver Saber's wanting to say something, and her little voice thing just will not show up or will not come through.
Oh, that's
Silver
sad.
Saber, is your microphone not working, or?
I keep seeing her cute little dog show up, and I just don't hear nothing.
Yeah.
It's almost like she's saying, "Please listen, please listen." I was like, "Honey, I'm trying, but nothing's coming out."
No, she said she was in chat mode.
Oh, okay.
Seattle, what is that?
I don't know.
Hey, you ever seen the movie The Purge?
Yes, look at that. That's awesome. I was wondering what that was down there in that little box.
That's a little disturbing.
That's awesome.
It's not
I
that
love it.
disturbing.
But, does it have a small dog collect baskets? Rub the lotion on its skin.
Same thing, Hannibal Lecter, yes.
You know what that reminds me of? Hocus Pocus. That mask reminds me of Hocus Pocus because
The stitched mouth.
Yeah. But it's crazy, like, that used to actually happen to people in the past. Like, wouldn't that be painful? But couldn't you just, like, cut the thread yourself?
They were dead when they did it.
Some people were, some people were alive. If somebody really wanted to be brutal to you and decided to stitch your mouth shut, you know?
Oh, I could staple my kid's mouth shut any day. I really could.
That.
Not the grandkids. Not the grandkids. Until they start having an opinion, then it's like, really? Really? Yes, Gamal. Just like my little 5-year-old informed me that this was her house, her couch, and I have to get out of her chair. I was like, really? Really? Hush. But look at poor Silver Saber. Look at that little doggy. It is so cute. But I don't know. But I mean, I guess there would be a way to do it if you confirmed. But who's gonna put a convention on? Who has that kind of money?
Don't consume the value.
Oh, it's so adorable.
The what?
The dog is so adorable.
Yeah, I couldn't understand what she said. It looked there for a second and I missed it.
Yeah.
I'm still digging the purge thing.
Yeah.
Things I read that consume.
She tried it. Worked for a second, honey.
Yeah, that mask is really cool. Is that what? I mean, is that a light? Is it a mask? Is it a light? What? That is.
It's a mask, and it's got a little sensor here. You know, I mean, a light that you can actually, control how it blinks. You know, you press it once, press it like that, it's only off. Once it just stays lit. Twice it fades in and out. Third time, strobe. It's got those settings. So, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's neat. That is, I mean, I look at that and I actually see art. I mean, that's really cool looking.
Same here. I like it.
It's not a good mask if you're an epileptic, though.
He's got a point. Oh. Well, folks, I'm going to go. I got to do another video tonight for someone else, so I'm going to go ahead and eat dinner, and then I'm going to go down and do it. So I really do hope everybody has a great night.
You too.
And it's fantastic talking with everyone. Silver Siren, thank you for sending me the invite. I'm glad we finally got that straightened out to where I can finally get in. And everybody, please have a great day, great night.
Yep. Take care.
Thank you. And I'm going to be out of here. Thank you.
Bye, Gamma.
Bye.
Bye. Whew. What else to talk about?
Wow, this has been long. I didn't realize what time it was.
I know.
Yeah, and I've got some chemistry that I need to do. So I'm
Yeah, I
getting
feel like
close.
I
Yes.
feel like this has been the longest time we've actually ran on air, to be honest. Feels like the longest time.
Yeah, it's been almost 3 hours. Wow.
Yeah. Hey, like Lainey, you know what they say that's good is to do some of your gardening, like watering your plants at night, because don't do it like in the morning or at the wee hours because the moisture in the water would evaporate. So I took on that tip. I was watching this gardening video.
Yeah, I always water in the evenings because another thing that can happen is that if you're watering in the morning, if the plants don't dry, the water droplets that are still on the green, the leaves and stuff, will amplify the
Mhm.
sunlight and it can damage your plants.
Mhm. That's a nice tip.
Well, I came in late. What did I miss? Anything good?
Oh,
Mm, we
wait.
talked about a lot,
Yeah.
like
Siren,
guns.
Siren wants to
Uh,
know what's on your mind, B-Lane.
What's that?
Siren wants to know what's been on your mind.
Oh, I'm kind of curious about the sharp rise in the gold uh, registered inventory on the comics.
You're talking about the amounts, or you're talking about the
Uh,
price?
No, ever since the end of May, the amount of gold in the registered category has spiked up considerably.
Hmm. Hmm.
Can't quite figure that one out.
I guess people like gold. It's not a bad thing. People
No,
use
why,
some gold
but
teeth.
why not leave it ineligible,
Yeah. Like
right?
I've met people with gold teeth. I met people with all their teeth was just gold.
Yeah, but there's only two reasons for anyone to put gold in the registered category. One is if they're planning on making delivery, and the other is if they're planning on leasing it.
You think they might do it?
Well, they're not. I can't see any advantage to leasing it. Interest rates are too low for it to make sense.
Yeah, so
You
it's
take a
probably for delivery.
When you take a look at the gold basis, and it's running about 1% per year on the carry. So it costs more money to store gold in the registered category than you could make by lending it out for paper.
Well, it's got to be for delivery. I would guess that seems to be the what they're up to because
Yeah.
I know that they can, and if they don't have it, um, they do have a stipulation in the contracts that will allow people to allow them to just pay it out in cash. And I know that the people in the industry, in the silver market, was trying to bankrupt was attempting to take delivery. Let's just say, and from the Comex, and the Comex said, "No, we don't have it. You got to take the paper." And I know that took place.
You know what? I don't think that's going to happen. There's two reasons. Most of the people who go long the paper gold market are there just for the sake of following the price. They're not. Most of them are not interested in owning gold or having physical gold. I mean, the futures market is there for two reasons. One, to act as a conduit and a risk management system between the miners and the people who ultimately want to take delivery, and that's like maybe 1 to 5% of the overall market. And the rest is for people who already own gold to turn it into interest income. And I don't think that they're going to kill the golden goose by forcing COMEX to default on the contracts. That would just ruin the confidence in the paper and eliminate the ability to generate an income off of existing gold. Doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
Yeah. B-Lane, do you think that that the gold is being moved to ETFs. Since the spot price is up, there's more demand for paper gold. So you get inflows into ETFs.
Well, it's possible, but there's no reason for it to be in the registered category.
Okay.
There's probably delivery then. Someone's demanding a nice chunk.
Yeah, it could be. You know, and this whole business of like 300 ounces of paper for every ounce of physical, I don't think that that's a problem because there's lots of gold out there. I think it's just gonna show up as needed. I mean, just like we talk about privacy in this community, the real rich people who own the gold, they don't want to show their hands.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't want to. I mean, I agree with that. I think someone just wants a large chunk of it in the physical, which is unusual just due to the fact that the system is a paper-based system. You know, it's just the only thing. I mean, they don't want it to be they wouldn't allow it to be willingly be a physical-based system because then there's no control. I mean, the control comes down to everybody else. There's no centralized thinking and distribution without the paper. So somebody's demanding a large chunk just to, I guess, have it for themselves. I don't know. Maybe they're preparing for the collapse.
Well,
I guess I still don't understand why ETFs wouldn't be creating the demand.
well, they could be creating the demand, but there's no reason for it to be registered.
Why not? Don't they actually have to take delivery?
Well, I think they could just hold it in the eligible category.
And transfer it into an ETF?
Yeah, delivery means it's basically coming off the exchange. The
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
ETFs aren't going to take the gold off of the exchange. They can just put it in a COMEX registered vault and move it into the eligible category.
Okay, now I understand. Thanks. I was missing a piece there.
It could be somebody thinking that they could cause a run, you know, like a little short squeeze. I mean, about a million to $1.3 million has already been delivered in June against the June contract. But that's pretty small considering that there's like 5.5 billion ounces of silver out there, or of gold out there in total.
Well, I do know that I am aware that First Majestic is putting out the information that as far as he's being approached, they're being approached directly from computer manufacturers now instead of going on the COMEX. So I know that that's being at least put out there by First Majestic. You know, I mean, they do have an interest in it, but putting out that information also is an eyebrow raiser.
You talking about contracting for delivery directly through First Majestic?
Yep, that's going on.
I read that somewhere that Samsung was doing that, contracting directly for their silver.
Yeah, manufacturers or computer manufacturers. He didn't say the name.
Well,
he just said that they're getting, they're getting direct contracts now instead of people going on the COMEX.
When it comes to silver, that's actually incredibly smart. You take a look at the spread between the near month and 5 years out on silver, and it works out to be something like 5% per year. That's the cost to carry. So anybody that contracts with First Majestic or any other silver producer for that matter, and buys via long contracts is basically paying the middleman 5% per year.
Yeah, it makes more sense to go direct.
Yeah. Plus, there's an extra counterparty in between you and your metal.
Yeah, I don't know why more people don't. Personally, I'd like to see the COMEX go away. just my own personal thought on it.
Did you know that before the 70s, that's how oil deals were done?
Yeah, I was told about that. They go directly to the drillers.
That's right. Directly
You
to the
know,
producers.
I don't know. The only reason to have these middlemen is you know, is to someone closer to you. But with the internet and everything else now, I'm surprised they haven't been eliminated. A lot of them. I'm just surprised more are.
No, no, that's not going to happen because the people that are producing the metals need to finance their projects. So they need to take loans, and the banks aren't going to make loans on any commodity producer whose product changes in price by, 3 to 5% a day.
But
They're going to
like,
require forward sales and some hedges being put on price to make sure that the project is viable.
wouldn't the government want competition though?
No, the
Isn't
government
like
does not want competition.
What do you mean by that?
so like the government, they wouldn't want like a monopoly, like basically a company merging with a bigger company. But like, doesn't competition work out for the consumers also? So if the price, let's say, for if you bought something and this company decides to sell it at an outrageous price, and this other company is like, hey, they're competitors. Wouldn't you want the to basically decrease the price of the item so that you have more consumers? Wouldn't it be good in case you had competition?
Oh, in terms of the middleman,
Yeah.
there's actually lots of competition there. Each independent bullion bank is basically a competitor with the other ones. That doesn't mean it's a good deal for the person that's looking to obtain metal 5 years from now, right? I mean, it's going to cost money. It's kind of like think of it like the mortgage market, right? I mean, short-term interest rates are really low, but you're not going to be able to get a mortgage for less than, let's say, 4%, because that's the spread between near-term money and long-term money. The futures market works just like that, and there's lots of banks competing for that business. Does that make sense?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So like, how do you feel about that as a consumer?
As a consumer of what, metal?
Yeah.
Oh, I buy it directly. And anybody who's like big enough to go on the futures market, it's probably too big to be talking on this channel. Buying a
Yeah,
100 ounce bars.
yeah, that's a lot of money people are talking about.
Yeah.
Some people, they purchase like, I was watching this video about how they process gold after it's mined and everything, and like sometimes like a bar, I guess in today's market place will be like about $12,000 for like a nice chunk of gold, pretty much. And I remember watching a video about Canada. They made a huge gold coin. I'm trying to remember how big it was.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting. Like who would actually want to buy that though? Just to say that I have this.
Well, the one thing that's interesting is that the futures market allows the big players to basically participate without moving price too much. I mean, if you take a look at what happened in the 1970s, the oil states basically started bidding for gold directly on the market, and the price got away from them. That's what caused the rocket in gold price to go up to like $850 an ounce. And the same thing with silver, although the Hunt brothers were involved there. It was the fact that everybody was going after the existing physical, which was a very, very small market. But in 1980, what basically brought things back to earth wasn't really Volcker raising the interest rates, but it was the dawn of the derivatives market. And so now you have these participants who would like to obtain gold, for example, the oil states, and what they're able to do is contract directly with, or indirectly with the miners to take gold and to a certain extent silver years from now. And so silver and gold under the ground has essentially been cornered by the oil states.
So, like, would it be better to buy outside of the country, like purchase your precious metals from a different country?
Oh,
No, I don't think so because the dollar. I mean, the New York Stock Exchange and the COMEX set the price. It's not going to be better. Prices and prices is set by a group of people. It's to control the market. There's essentially not a free market, or in the sense in what people would call free or think of free. A lot of people do think of free when you mention free market to them. It's controlled. All the markets are controlled to a greater extent, one way or the other. Like housing, um, right now is a very controlled market. Land use laws, regulations, buying of bad debt on homes, and it's all controlled and regulated. There's nothing is allowed to fall below certain price points because it's deemed as detrimental to the whole existing economy itself. That's what you're living in currently, in my opinion, one man's opinion.
Like, I remember a saying from my teacher. He said that life has no costless decisions, and it's basically the same thing for the marketplace.
Right now, remember, I'm going to give you a realist opinion here. That's only told to people as fairy tales right now. Once you get older, you'll realize that I have learned to realize that that was a fairy tale dream. There are people who actually sit back and who make prices based on what they feel is best for all involved. Therefore, there is no. I mean, people took a lot of bad bets on Wall Street in the housing. A lot of those people were not allowed to be allowed to fall. In fact, they were bailed out and reinvented. They ain't gone anywhere. They're all still there. They didn't pay the price. That's what the whole bailout situation was about. It never happened. So there is the illusion and the perception in society that there is a free market and consequences matter has been somewhat, let's say, shattered.
well, you got to look on the other side of that, Seattle. Who actually was on the hook for all that dead money? Who owned those collateralized debt obligations? It wasn't the banks.
Uh, I believe it's the insurance companies owned a lot of them.
It was the insurance companies, the pension funds.
Yeah.
So the people that were going to lose weren't really the bigwig Wall Street bankers in that situation.
Yeah, a lot of people would have lost their pensions, definitely.
Yeah.
And it was the pension fund investment people who actually participated and brought them,
Yeah.
which they're doing again right now, by the way.
Yeah.
They're back at it. I found that pretty amazing, that they're actually pretty much back at it. A lot of the debt was taken off onto the balance sheet of the Federal Reserves, the actual money printers themselves, and everyone was made whole, so to speak, on their retirements and pension funds. Yeah, there would have been definitely a lot of fallout behind it. A lot of people would have paid the price, and they would have demanded that change be done, and no one wanted that. They wanted to keep everything going the way it was. I think ultimately that was what was decided as the best thing to do in the situation. Do I agree with that? No, I don't. I think everything should have came down to where it should have been, and then that would have allowed other people to recreate and redevelop redevelop the system and things going forward. That reset never allowed to happen. So
No,
That
some people would never be able to recover from that. You know, you think about the people who are drawing on pensions and are close to drawing on pensions. A lot of them, that's their only source of income. And so if the system were to reset, those people would never recover. They just don't have time.
yeah, that's true.
You know, and how do you explain to somebody like that that their entire future just got flushed down the toilet simply because they didn't understand what their pension company owned?
Yeah, I think it happens. These things happen, to other people regularly. It's just that it would have happened on a much larger scale this time around, and it's a tough pill to swallow. I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, how they would have told them would have been the truth that they made bad bets, and um, unfortunately, you're not going to get what you thought you were going to get. Now, would that have caused some problems? Yeah, you bet it would have. Would it have allowed others to make changes and things to reset and go better? I mean, make better for the forward. Yeah, but they didn't. So what they essentially did was made all those people whole and did what they had to do. But they made people like me, myself, and I say this is all one big Ponzi, one big scheme. I participated in now as little as possible. So therefore, if that's the reason why you've had for the next now 7, 8 years since then, zero interest rates and everything else, because everyone else now in the middle is looking at this like this is, at my age, it would have benefited me heavily. It would have. It just would have. That opportunity was taken away from me and given and kept spread among others. That's just the facts. So therefore, in retrospect, I just do what I need to do. I participate as little as possible, and I do what I need to do as far as taking care of things around here. But it's a yin yang thing. There's a cause and an effect. I don't think this will get any better until about 2020, personally. But I think that's where we're at.
So, is life like a big game of Monopoly?
I don't know if you could sum it down to that, but that would be a good starting point. It wouldn't be a bad starting point. Let me say it that way. It wouldn't be a bad starting point.
I'm actually looking at the U.S. debt clock for gold and precious metals. Do you guys check out the U.S. debt clock?
Sure, yeah.
It says the United States has about 287 million ounces of gold.
287 million ounces. So that's is that 8,000 tons?
Pretty much, I think so.
We do the math here. 31,000 ounces to a ton. Let's see. 8,000, 31,000.
And it says that
148 million? Yeah, that's about right.
yes, it says that it looks like the United States is at the top of the gold holding by country in ounces, and the second place is Germany with
Yep,
119 million
that's about right.
ounces.
Yeah, they should have about half of what we have.
Not bad, not bad.
Of course, the holdings of all of the governments of the world is only about 1/5 of the total.
But we
Right.
have a lot of iron, you know,
Hmm?
iron, like the IRON, that metal.
Hmm.
There's a lot of it. It's quite interesting. Quite interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that U.S. debt clock, the big numbers that a lot of people look at is the unfunded liability section, the one with those all those big numbers. Actually, they did the math on it 3 years ago, and I mean it was like at $1 million per second. It would take 300 years to repay the debt. I mean that was just the national. I mean the public debt section of it. So that debt ain't never going to be repaid. It's not meant to be repaid. It's just a retainer. It's just I'm pretty sure 20, 30, 50 years from now they'll probably just get rid of it altogether. I mean, that's something they would very much like to see because it's more of a control. It's more of a mindset. It was put in place to keep them from freely distributing the paper, so that way it doesn't become worthless. But there's people who would very much like to see the debt clock go away, who would like to see that government debts don't matter. They would like to set that mindset in the general public's mind.
Do you want to see it go away?
Personally, no. I mean, it serves that purpose. I mean, it serves the purpose to keep people from doing whatever they want to do. But if they got rid of it, I wouldn't worry about it either. I just start stacking up on more ammo, more storable food, because sooner or later it's going to blow a lot faster now. That would tell me that the blowout's going to happen sooner than later. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a cause and effect. It's all based on perception. That's basically what type of monetary system we have. It's space based, and it's perception. Nothing more, nothing less. That's what it is. It's a perception.
So do you have like a bug out bag or?
Well, I really, I mean, I got 6, 7 other veterans and relatives who, live in the area I live in. So it really isn't so much as would be a bug out. It'd be more of a bug in and protect. So that's pretty much my perception of it. Would I want it to happen? No, because if it does, that means it's going to be about another 2,000 to 3,000 years of darkness. If the society collapsed, it'd be 2,000 to 3,000 years before this would recover. Unfortunately, it would probably get that bad. I'm talking Book of Eli, Living Dead, The Walking Dead type of scenario would probably unfold because of the amount of domesticated people who don't know they're hid from a hole in the ground that are out there. I'm talking about scary. I'm talking about a scary, scary world, and no one wants to see that. But if it happens, I want to survive it. That's just me.
Yeah, I totally agree. I like watching those types of movies. Put myself in that scenario. Like I was watching this one movie called Waterworld, where basically nobody could find land, and they're just I guess the whole entire world flooded with water, and all they survive on is literally water. They're stranded in the middle of the ocean and have no place to go. And people usually they would trade on their boats, and paper was so useful because there weren't any trees, and other things like plants were very useful because there wasn't any vegetation. So like I thought that was a pretty good movie, and when they finally found land, it was like, oh my god, I've never seen this before. But when you would go underneath the water, you will find deserted underground cities. So like I thought that was an amazing movie to realize that, because some environmentalists say that the world will flood. Some people believe that because the glaciers are melting. So that's what some people believe.
When I was going to school, they talk about the glaciers when you're in school. And I was going to school, and I was going to high school. in middle school. They were talking about the ozone layer and air conditioning. And I remember sitting in that. I remember sitting in those classes and thinking, these people are crazy. That was my thought. These people are crazy. They've lost their mind. I never forget it. They were trying to tell everybody the ozone layer was going away when I was going.
Yeah.
And I thought they were crazy back then. I still think they're crazy now.
But now instead of chlorinated fluorocarbons, it's cow farts.
That's how people may feel, is because the people may say that cars contribute to the a lot of pollution, but it's really the agriculture, that in statistics they contribute a lot to the gas emissions and such. So I was watching this documentary and it talked about it. I'm like, well, we need food, you gotta eat somehow. Even if it's not good for our environment, it's still good for us. You can't stop people from eating. Especially the manufacturer cost. It kind of contributes to it pretty much.
Well, I think what it is, it's just, I mean, this may be a bit conspiratorial or just, my big imagination. Um, what I do know to be fact is that as far as resources and hard assets, the West consumes a very heavy share of the pie. Um, and in order to spread things around a little bit more, you have to get that group. If you're going to spread things around a little bit more, you have to get that group to use less. And the only way to get them to use less is to indoctrinate them into practices that will, bring that share down considerably over time. I think that's a big indicator to watch for the future. Is to compare historical records on consumption of oils, foods, consumable products, and stuff like that. How much was consumed by the West at one point in time, and how much it is 10 years from now. I think you'll see the reduction, and you'll see the increase in other parts of the world in segments, because when you get right down to hard assets, there's only so much.
Well, price has always rationed scarce goods. So if you see a persistent imbalance, what does that tell you?
There's a bunch of people living very, very high on the hog.
But why? What's letting it happen?
I would say more than likely it's more behavior, more habit. When you get right down to it, what the controlling mechanisms in between it, I'm not so sure on. I think it's just habit.
But I could have a bad potato chip habit, but if there were no potato chips in the cupboard, I wouldn't be eating any.
That's true.
So what is it? What's allowing this overconsumption to occur?
Production. They're producing more.
Well, there's an imbalance, isn't there? But
yeah.
With who?
With the rest of the world's production. They aren't producing enough.
Right, but historically, back when we were on the gold standard, what prevented trade imbalances from persisting?
I'm not so sure. I was when we were on the gold standard. I don't think I was born then.
Well,
I definitely wasn't born.
The treasuries in various countries would run out of gold.
So therefore they couldn't consume anymore.
Yeah, but why is there an imbalance now? Because theoretically, even in a fiat system, currency exchange values should change. If one country runs a surplus with another country, their currencies should increase in value until their trade becomes less competitive and their exports slow down. So what is it that's preventing that from happening right now?
I have no clue what these people are doing. I know they're up to something.
It's pretty straightforward. It goes right back to your lamenting about the U.S. debt and how big it's gotten.
Oh yeah. Okay, so it's the debt.
I guess that.
It's the debt, right?
Yeah,
But
it's the
Yeah.
debt.
but
Like, yeah.
what's actually going on is that we're running a trade deficit with other countries. Ordinarily, the flow of cash into those foreign countries and the exchange by their central bank for their local currencies should strengthen their currency, but that's not what they're doing. The foreign countries are recycling those dollars and buying what with them?
Yeah, product services, taking care. Huh?
They're buying treasuries,
Oh, okay.
right? And the treasuries are being held on their account at the Federal Reserve banks. And so this giant increase in the U.S. debt is really the foreign governments holding in their accounts these treasuries, right?
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia has a lot of them, China has a lot of them, and it's just been growing and growing and growing. And so it's really this giant treasury market and the U.S. indebtedness that's allowed the standard of living to be so high in the West when the trade imbalances would say that this cannot persist. But it's persisted for 50 years.
Yeah, like I remember researching this how the 1% holds about 90 90% of the US income pretty much. And when you only have 10% goes basically to the rest of the other people within this country. And I think that's pretty crazy. Um
Yeah, but they want it to happen,
yeah.
right? China wants it to be this way.
Do you think we're gonna have like economic collapse?
Well, what's China getting out of this deal?
They keep their people busy. Maybe the manufacturing.
Don't they get money out of this deal? Or do
Well,
they still do they have us indebted to them, or
the bigwigs are getting enriched, and they know that this debt's not payable, as Seattle said. They know it, right? China knows it, Saudi Arabia knows it, but what are they getting in the meantime?
Knowledge.
There's two things.
Gold.
Gold is one. What's the other one? Manufacturing capacity,
oh yeah.
right?
Yeah, they're gaining the knowledge of how to produce and manufacture and maintain an economy on their own, which takes time.
But in the meantime, there's no reason for them to change it.
No, because if they do, then that collapses.
Yeah, just like the big gold holders have a vested interest in keeping COMEX working, these sovereign governments have a big interest in keeping this U.S. indebtedness game going, even though they know that they're never going to get paid, not from the debt, but they're getting paid so much more in what it's allowing them to do. It's allowing them to build up their manufacturing base on the cheap, and it's allowing them to accumulate gold at cheaper prices than would ever be possible otherwise. And Siren had mentioned this in one of her side posts just a minute ago. She threw out the number 50,000. That's a very important number.
Gold at 50,000 an ounce.
That's what would happen if the game were to end. That would make sure that China and Saudi Arabia got paid.
Let's see here. You're talking about you're talking about a day that the purge on that show looks like a picnic. There's some people that ain't gonna eat. There's some people that ain't gonna eat, buddy.
That's the end. No. People will still eat. People will still eat because people will still be able to produce goods and services, right?
Yeah.
Just in a different way, though.
Yeah. Now the people that are holding fixed currency assets, those are the people that are going to be screwed.
Yeah.
Right.
Very much. Yeah, that's true.
But people will still be able to eat. People are eating in China, and they're getting paid a whole hell of a lot less than we are.
Yeah, that's true.
what we're not going to be able to do is live in these giant McMansions and eat a pound of meat every day.
Yeah, there is a lot of swole people running around. I go out and I think that I look, I go to the supermarket or whatever, and the market, and I'm buying stuff, and I notice the size of the people, and they pretty good, and I've been around the world. I've been to China, I've been to the Middle East. I've been into the Baltic states.
Yep.
I've been to Spain. I've been to Italy. It's been a while, but those people definitely, were not the size of a lot of people around here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's a difference.
Do you think Americans are a lot more luckier than third world countries or other people in
I
like
wouldn't
the
say
third
luck.
countries?
We're we're a lot less happy. We're a lot better off wealth-wise, but a lot less happy.
Yeah.
Why do you think we're a lot less happy?
Because we don't care about anything else.
Yeah. The only thing that matters around here is is wealth accumulation. And everybody's part. If you're born here, you're gonna partake in it unless you want to live on the streets and be a bum.
Yeah, I've known people in third world nations who have next to nothing, but they're happy as you've ever seen a person. But I've known people in the States who have had everything you could possibly imagine, but they're not happy because they always make their happiness contingent upon getting to the next wealth level.
Exactly. I was going to say people in third world countries tend to live in the moment a lot more than people in the Western world.
Yep.
Is it like our mindset of what the expectations are to be happy in life, or what's shown within the media? In order to be happy, you have to look like this, you have to be like this, you have to get this amount of money.
Well, it's all monetary. It's all monetary based. It's really it's mindset. A lot of this stuff comes back to mindset. Now, there's positives that goes on. I mean, you're talking about inventions. You're talking about cohesion, things that aren't so easily measured in terms of dollar amounts. There's a positive that comes from it all that I've researched and seen. Um, at the same time, you know, the moment of relaxation and just peace and being able to exist without the thoughts of monetary gain has its own rewards. There's differences, you know, from culture to from culture to culture. There's differences. Um, you just have to be aware of them and what they are, and go out into the world and experience different cultures and visit different places to see it. Um, that's really what it's about. You know, I'd like to see colonization of Mars. Not so much just to do it, but because it represents a new beginning. You know, something like that is a two planetary system would be once the people who get there are there and they're set up and they're good to go. Once they reach that point, then they decide they're going to start deciding on the new rules. A lot of the rules established early, but there's a lot of opportunity there.
We should colonize Mars with all the inhabitants of Congress.
Man. I say leave them here and take them out. Get a good 100,000 people base going on Mars, and once, like I said, they're settled in, they'll start telling people back home, no, we don't think we're going to go along with what you're doing back there. We're going to do our own thing. A breakaway civilization. I think that's in that's in the future. You know, maybe a couple 100 years from now, but I definitely could see that happening. A breakaway civilization. That's part of the reason why they don't invest a lot of time. We have the technology to recolonize Mars right now. without a doubt. It's here. It can be done. It can be set up and established. The reason why it isn't being done because it's I believe it's because of control. I mean, there's some technological hurdles that could be perfected to make it easier along the way, but standard right now, the ability to do it is there. I mean, it's just the commitment, and not. I mean, the mind drain. If you send a bunch of people there, scientists and stuff like that, the think tank drain on the planet here would be felt as well. There's going to be a cause and effect. You know, you're not going to have as many people here to design things that helps the society function.
Yeah.
But you know, I think that's really that's you know, it's a complex issue, and some of the things I mentioned would definitely lead others who are bright-minded enough to look at it that way and say, maybe not, maybe we don't want to do this at this point, because there's a lot of ignorant people. There's way too many ignorant people in the world versus intelligent people in the world. There's an
Yeah.
imbalance there that needs to be expedited in some way or fashion in order to allow a two planetary system to happen. I think that's what where the concern is. But as far as the people here now, there's enough people to do it right now. That's my argument.
I don't think I'd ever want to go to Mars. I think the internet signal would be too weak.
Hey, they got a lot of satellites around that planet right now. They just
They
need to start
do.
putting more. Just start launching more and putting more satellites in orbit and setting it up, and then get the fiber optic lines and stuff set up for. It doesn't have to be a very large platform on the planet, but you just need enough where for 70,000 people, it could sustain 70 to 100,000 people. That's all you would need is an area that can sustain that amount of people, and that's not very big. It's not very big.
But yeah, like this reminds me of the show called the 100, where um a select few of humans are put on the spaceship because the world has basically suffered from a crazy radioactive like chemical imbalance, so they have to leave the planet. They've been on this spaceship for like 100 years, and there comes a time when they have to return back, because like how long can you really last on a spaceship, so they have to return back to Earth, and they see what it is, right, when they come back and see how different it is. So if that possibly happened, if something did happen to Earth, which is not likely, because I've talked to many scientists before about the Earth, the sun supernova, and the Earth is blown to bits. I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. Most likely because our sun is a red giant, so that's pretty much never going to happen. This based upon the size of our sun. So I don't think a lot's going to happen to Earth. I think what's going to happen is a lot to society.
Well, I think when you're looking and you're talking about the day that the planet goes away, I think that's a long way off, or
Yeah.
it could be sooner. It only take one good size meteorite to ruin your day.
So it's back.
Because they
You
ain't
know,
gonna stop it. They ain't
like
gonna stop
what's
it
it?
from here.
Like what's in the sky? Oh, it's heading towards me. You know what? It's a good show I'm watching right now. Let's get back to the show. I'll worry about it later. I know.
I'm more concerned about the teenager texting ramming into me on the highway.
You'd be like, "Hey guys, it says a meteorite's coming towards Earth. Let me check my Snapchat. Oh my God! Look what
Yeah.
Sarah posted. It's a meteorite. Oh, let me post this on Instagram. Oh, like
Well, you
that's
know,
what my generation would do. They would videotape it
I'll tell you
and
what,
post it.
the one thing that would make it awesome is that Zero Hedge would finally be right about something.
Like I'm dead serious. Is that my generation will most likely take pictures of it, take videos, and text it or send it to their friends. You know, crazy.
Yeah, that's something to something to be concerned of. But Yeah, I mean, a meteorite hitting the planet, a big one. It's happened before. It could happen again. The only question is, in
It's
between now and
yeah.
then, will there be enough technology to divert it? That I'm not.
Yeah.
That I'm unsure of. How?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who
Well,
knows what's
as
gonna
a human
happen?
being, I don't live long enough to establish a guideline for that. There's no written record
Yeah.
to say this happens every so often. So, yeah. Unfortunately, we're still a very primitive culture, probably among other planets among the stars.
Yeah, because we can only go back really 13 billion years into the galaxy. We haven't really gone that far. We've only been able to see about 100 galaxies um, based on our technology. You know, scientists have found that um, our galaxy is actually moving apart. It's moving farther from each other, so it's gonna take us a little longer to see it. Um, Scientists say based upon how, let's say, a star, how bright a star is, based upon how far it is. So the brightest star may be quite a short distance, or maybe a long distance. So yeah, scientists really base that off of it.
Yeah. Well, hey, fellas, and guys, gals, I'm gonna get ready to drop out. I gotta get this done before 11 o'clock tonight, and it's gonna take me at least 2 to 3 hours to get it done. Um, Thanks for the invite as always, Simon. Take care, Laney. Take care, Blaine. Uh, Take care, Collector for Life. Who else we got down here? Brian. Brian the Log. Brian the Log's been pretty quiet. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah. Take care though.
Alrighty, take care.
Bye.
Bye, Seattle.
Bye.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Good night, everybody.